indeed today. We're not getting any Juggernaut, which I'm a little bit upset.
No.
I was looking forward to seeing him try it again. Maybe it was going to work today. This time he's on his SF, no doubt about it. The Shadow Fiend, this here at the moment, one of the hottest carries of the patch.
Absolutely, and I'd rather see Ame playing more of the meta stuff because he does look good on the meta stuff. So yeah, looking at these drafts, it's a bit of a different change-up, of course, having Pure playing this Dawnbreaker, maybe a little bit of getting into their heads. Very kind of interesting thing that we've got going on here with that. And yeah, just a strong draft, I would say, from BB with the triple BKB piercing disables. Maybe we'll see a BKB disregarded on the SF for a long time. And let's see how the lanes end up going down, because I do feel like BB has a bit of an edge in those lanes. However, Xtreme, they have some good wombo combo team fight when things start coming out together. The coil, in particular, if the coil catches multiple heroes, they're going to have two different functions of fearing to break the coil. So we'll see if they're going to be able to execute those in those mid-game team fights. So I think for overall, for me, BB will be the ones dictating pace of the game.
Yes.
And then Xtreme is going to be able to sometimes fight if they get those connections as bottom Pure.
That's a lot of damage he's taking. He's trying to juke through the trees. Will still get hit by the Shadow Realm here. I mean, he's going to get completely forced away from this wave and kept very low.
He got only one last time.
How are they doing on the regen down here? He's still got a whole set of tangos. So he'll be able to slowly heal back up. But Xtreme Gaming, the two of them, XXS and PYW, they're perfectly healthy. So they can continue to really contest this early few waves of CS that Pure's trying to find.
Most of the time, you don't see Doom getting all the way to the end, too. This hero is just so strong in a lot of lanes. And speaking about the Doom, I was checking what build Miro was queuing up, because there's a bit of that interaction that can happen in this game where there's a Doom versus a Beast. So these creeps are going to get eaten. And Miro is queuing up Dominator. So there could be occasions where he just walks up and eats the Dominator creep if he does commit for the build. I don't know if he'll continue upgrading it. We've seen some people stray away from doing that. We've seen some just Dominators into Aghanims or Dominators into Auras. Because if you go for the full Overlord, then he just takes Devour, eats Ancients, and then your net worth gets just completely disappeared. So we'll see the approach that comes out. I imagine he's going to adapt. Maybe he does still go for the Dominator just to dictate that pace.
Well, that's the thing. I guess he feels it's just that necessary with their draft and their approach to this game that he can't really change it up. But he wants to go for it regardless of the fact that there will be some answers throughout the game for it.
I would say like the idea around their draft is like getting that early aggression and getting the early Rosh on, because they have both TA and Beast to secure the Rosh. Let's see how XG does in these lanes overall. This top, there's something special. I always mention it about Save in particular. Even with, no matter who he's playing with, he ends up securing their lane beautifully. SF and Marcy, SF with a melee overall ends up dominating a lot of times versus these lanes, but Beast has 8 denies right now. Probably quite a bit of the Boars and Hawks, but already Miro having a significant amount in that top lane versus the SF. And this lane mid, it just gets harder for XM. The first few levels are a bit dealable with, so you should see him have decent CS, but once it starts to get that level 3, 4, it hurts.
It's in every single one of them there, key attacker.
Kiatak has been pretty impressive for me most of the early games. The other day he did get, yesterday was a sad scenario where he got Monkey King. He was playing the Pango, so he got kind of owned. So we'll see what type of explosive game that he has. Because he does have some really nice stuff that he can do. Yes, they're lacking some disable for the puck, but he can go shard, right? And we've seen that a lot from the TAs in the mid lane to address a puck if you do lack some disables. And Pure is starting to get that better farm in the bottom lane now.
Really that top lane where there's the biggest difference down to the large amount of denies that Samir has been able to find.
Denies across the board here so far. They do have quite a bit of them. Bottom, they actually got a half pull-off, which is pretty important. Jianming will try to get a boar. He'll get one. They're fighting, though.
I mean, yeah, he's got a few stacks on him. Mira having to be close how he approaches the two of them, as they do hit hard.
There's 5 stacks on Tianming.
It's a lot of stacks.
It's a flame breakup. He's going to take a lot of damage. He's got a Lotus.
This trade, surely. He's going to survive Tianming. He gets the kill. And he's going to live.
Yeah. He had that Lotus. It was enough. Looked like Save was trying to push the limit of it, but does get turned from that jump heal. And he's getting healed up from the SF hits, too. That sidekick starting to add up a little bit there since they received that bonus healing from each other.
Yeah, good bit
Every little
play.
thing. Yeah.
And Save definitely felt that he had a chance again. It looked like it was that close. But indeed, XG as a team, as a duo up there, they were ready for that trade.
And bottom XXS he's not getting bullied at all. He's going to be able to sit in this lane. He's already got boots in the chainmail. That's an interesting pickup. He has Intimidate. I don't think I see many people grab it. I guess just because the Enchantress probably grabbed it, but he has the Small Wolf debuff to reduce that damage, which I don't think I've never seen anybody actually use, so we'll see if he actually does use it. Yeah, mid lane. It's gonna get hard. So we'll see how they want to look to set up XM for success. If it's going to be based off of stacks, based off of rotations. I'd imagine it's going to be a rotation from the supports, but leaving these side lanes can be a bit scary if you're on the side of Xtreme. If you ditch your SF, he's going to get gone on instantly. Bottom Pure continues to take a good chunk of damage, but has the raindrop to soak the pressure.
Oh, an Arme. They're able to get him.
They find him this time.
Yeah, Save and Mirror move in, they get the stacks up, they take down the SF. Tianming, not much he can do. In return, he's just got to run as well.
These lanes are going very well for them, and even
bottom
bottom.
Here with the movement forwards of both of them, they catch PYW a little out of position.
Starting to get these dangerous, these scary levels early built up. The level 2 and chance is up, so he can get the bigger creep. And that means also these supports are dead for the check of the power rune. They might have to TP mid, fill XM bottle, and check the rune off of that.
Should have Mirror.
Tianming takes it, but either way, he does get the kill. And who's going to get the power rune? Kiyotaka already has the trap set up. But XM will be able to get himself an amp damage. Kiyotaka's still running at him.
Now you can threaten him. XM's got to be careful. As PYW by his side. Just in case any dive plays were going to start coming in from Kiyotaka.
2-2, but overall, based off the CS, seeing BB with that lead off of the start here, especially because of this mid lane. It's mostly the mid. Kiyotaka having that edge.
What do you imagine Kiyotaka will go for first this game? Will it be the Blink or the Deso that you want to get first with the mid TA this game?
I mean, I think Blink Shard looks fantastic.
Blink Shard,
right? I love the Shard in a lot of the games when you're playing versus the puck, but we'll see. XXS.
He's got backup. They're going to jump in onto Pure. They should be able to take him out pretty easily. The +1.
Pure's got to be a bit more careful there, too. Stepping up very far, and he's gone for full aggression build, not even putting a single point in Luminosity. You don't see this hero played so much as carry, but usually you see at least 1 point. Usually it's that 1-3-1.
Yeah, that's
a bit interesting.
Incredibly aggressive.
Yeah.
Giving you no chance for sort of the self-sustain.
Radiant's bottom tower is
I don't know how much of a difference it would have made, but just pointing out small little, skill build things. Because I also just don't know how much Pure has played it. I'm actually going to check really quickly.
Oh yeah, let's have a look at the stats.
Take a look.
We do like to see this when we get the carries playing something that we don't normally see them on. See, if it's been working out for them in their pub games, in their practice.
If they've even done it in a pub game too is the question.
I'm sure he must have played some
I don't think he did, man. I'm telling you, because this looked like a situation where they were just like, let's just flex it. I'm not seeing it in any of his pub games.
Mid lane.
Coil.
The Solar Guardian coming in.
XXS is here too.
Kiyotaka's looking pretty dead. There's no way out of this, and Pure knows he can't save him. Has to back off after the Solar Guardian.
I like that move from XXS. Just hello. Turns up as the Doom isn't getting anything down bottom anyway, and he's in the area. Gets a little bit of an extra hit. Stacks being made on both sides. Ame will be in the jungle for a moment since his lane has now been kind of dominated. Speaking of dominating, the Dominator is pretty much done for the Beastmaster. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do more information. I'm gonna look for more because
I'm on it as well.
You're on it too. Okay, because I was looking
games.
Because it doesn't look like he's played it that much, but maybe recently a couple.
On his pub profile, 7 games, has 70% win rate.
Okay.
Oh no, sorry. This 7 games is actually in pro games.
Pro games.
So he's had 7 games pro games. Okay. He's winning more than he's losing with it.
I think I saw him play it the other day. When
played it in the BB Dutch tournament.
I did think I kind of remember that game. I think it was what versus
versus Yakult.
Yeah, okay.
They got the win there.
I think I did remember seeing this.
But before that, it was 11 months ago. So yeah, just that one game as a recent time in pro play. But yeah, they did get the win.
Yeah, we'll see if that has any effect. Of course, Pure, very high skill carry, so he should be obviously perfectly fine on this hero. He's queuing up the Soul Ring. And he isn't like the main carry in this game. Well,
you got the TA,
right? So you've got like this hybrid kind of style coming out with your draft. So he's gonna do Dragon Lines first on Kiyotaka. And then perhaps, yeah, we'll see what he goes with the build after. If he feels he even needs to go for something like Shard, or do they feel like they can just play around going for objectives with the Beastmaster aura plus that?
But no, definitely not a hero he plays a huge amount. Check
not a huge amount.
Pub profile. He also... I just had it up and I just closed it.
It doesn't sound like
a lot of games,
right? Like Pure is one of those like agi hard carries.
7 games he's played in pubs.
Another coil will connect onto save. XG finding themselves some good kills out of the laning phase, even though BB was getting the advantage in terms of last hits. These coils so far 2 have been successful. And he is queuing up the full Overlord. So I mean, we'll say, because the Doom, Doom at 15 just eats it in most of the fights.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I can't help but feel that maybe with this approach that BetBoom were going for, that they may have wanted a little bit more out of these first 10 minutes.
Yeah, they want to be the ones playing ahead. They wanted to be the the ones fully dictating. They're still ahead in gold, even though the kills are leading for XG, but I don't think that they expected the Doom to have such a good lane. In particular, XXS, he's ahead of the Dawnbreaker, and they went for a Dawn Ench lane. That overall Ench can secure a lot of these lanes.
Tower is under attack.
They were able to do a really good job down there. XXS already has phase drum, so yeah, he's going to be pretty scary in a lot of situations.
Radiant are scanning.
I'm going to keep keeping tabs of Kiyotaka, which build he does want to go around. Does he feel like he needs to be that carry? Does he feel like he needs to go down the route of ganking? On him again.
They got the jump on
the Doom.
They've got the Doom in. They're bringing in the damage. A TP will come in from Kiyotaka, but Pure will not survive this.
Again, gets brought down. He's getting very slow.
Why is he?
He's going to deny himself?
Tries to, but pretty much the last or the penultimate tick of the Doom there does kill him off.
It's very close to him actually surviving, maybe. Nice money there for BYW. I'm waiting to see the build, Kiyotaka, because it does feel like he wants to be a little more active.
I think he's going to get.
You think he's just going to go Deso?
I think he's going to get Deso and farm
maybe because the Dawn struggled.
Exactly, that's the thing, right? Pure is not having an easy game on the Dawn, so I think
possible.
Kiyotaka might feel he has to carry hard.
I like Blink. I still like Blink Shard, and he queues it. I feel like it's because he wants to be able to play Accelerant, and then you're able to allow Pure to join in the fights with his ult, rather than Pure having to show in lanes.
So this feels like they're kind of sticking with the initial
plan.
They're not feeling that the game needs to be changed up in how Kiyotaka plays, how he looks to carry as it scales. They want to keep playing this fast and commit to the draft.
Yeah, they're not switching things up. Yeah, that's okay. Admirable, for sure.
But I think Xtreme is not going to be too unhappy with the start of this.
No.
They're getting the farm. I don't think they've lost maybe as much as they could have if BetBoom had a bit of a better time on all of their 3 lanes.
Absolutely. My only concern is that it's not a full. I mean, it kind of is a full protect one for Ame, and there is a Doom. Or sorry, there's a Roar, and there is going to be that lasso as things progress when they get Blink Daggers to actually initiate fights. But we'll have to see, because yeah, they did do a bit better in those lanes than I expected them to.
Smoke comes out here. On the
XM got the lasso. Lasso, what am I saying? Coil.
So the Guardian backup's going to come in. So this Dream Coil play will not work out.
Big damage.
Just destroyed there by Pure's combo.
Why did I say lasso? My brain is just lagging right now. Well, that coil, not going to work out. They do have to be a bit careful of those when there is going to be Pure available.
Yeah, you got to be aware that the backup, it's going to be there in that sort of situation, no doubt about it.
And early mistakes,
afraid to join,
or early mess-ups with some of these ults, can just give up a Roshan very early on to this lineup of BB. They're going to look to farm it up. Save definitely wants to try to get that Blink Dagger so they can initiate more of these fights. Blink done on Kiyotaka. And overall, I would say for the side of XG, not the only way, but one of the only early ways that they can fight is around that coil. If they catch a Doom, that's more of like a pick-up, but overall for team fights, they're pretty reliant on XM getting a good coil early on. And BB feels like they kind of identify that. After coil's used, everybody's just split up farming all over the place on the map. Roar. Oh, so close.
Might still get it.
Save with the bonk back.
The fear's going to be there to push back. And with the jumping in, they can actually turn. Yeah, PYW is going to live. Backup comes in. They'll just the Doom down onto Mirror. Lasso will be there. And Mirror should get chased down by XXS. That the Beastmaster will fall.
PYW, he's still getting chased from the summons. Looks like he should be able to get himself out here. He has the urn, so he's healed up at an insane amount.
That's close.
He's battling the summons.
This Harpy's giving him quite the fight.
But he gets good money.
It will come out on top.
Yeah, he gets great money from that. Good TP reaction again. We said XXS being very active on the Doom from his good start that he's had. Has that blink, immediately showing it off. Even with all these moves though, even though 7-4, CBB, they're playing the map. They're playing it to just farm across the board. Even the 2 supports, they're hitting creeps.
Yeah. And interesting to see as well, so with the pure Dawnbreaker build, it goes for the phase echo. You know, this is something we don't see from the offlaners anymore, right? So, but still in the carry position, you feel that Echo is still going to be the item that you will go for if you're playing Dawn as a carry?
I would assume so. Just the double hit is very valuable with Luminosity and the fact that you get the proc slow on your Q from the Echo. And you can build it into a good stat item, right? You can disassemble to go BKB. You can get the Harpoon eventually later on. I don't like this as offlane at all. I think Echo's quite bad in the offlane, but in this, in safe lane, carry, seems good.
Yeah.
I would have argued even for Armlet this game if he wasn't playing versus, the Doom.
Yeah, the Armlet Dawns the offlane have looked good, and, obviously there's nothing wrong with getting an Armlet first as a carry.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of carry. DK doing pretty good, a hero that builds the Armlet first, but interesting to see, and I just wonder if we do end up getting more games with carry Dawn, if we do see some differences in the build start to come out.
Yeah, would be definitely cool to see. Because I think Pure is going to go for more along standard lines of like the Blink, the Desos, etc., stuff like that, to just be able to enhance himself in particular rather than for the team because he's playing this carry.
I don't think surely he's going to let Key attack by the Deso this game.
You're totally right about that, yeah. So
right.
Probably just, omitting that one first. And then getting, I guess, Blink, BKB, Echo would probably be the build.
Yeah, that's probably the way it goes. Arme, he's got the threat of the Requiem.
He's getting poked from an Enchantress. Needs to be careful.
Got the Lasso set up top. So the Guardian comes in, they'll catch XXS out alone.
Definitely just feels, it feels easier for BB just to make these natural moves on the sides. And now Roche is potentially threatened. They can't just look to go for it here. Miro has the Overlord, so he can just pretty much solo this. He's actually going to accelerate it, bringing Kiyotaka in. And that shard is online for him. So eyes on those TA traps, especially for XM. Something that really devastates a puck in particular, but not only just a puck. These traps early, they're devastating for everybody in team fights if you don't have sentry coverage.
UNW.
They get the catch.
For the setup here, he's got the fear. Kind of control the movements a little bit more.
Should have him.
Got him surrounded, but space is made. BetBoom are able to take the Roshan. There's TP coming through.
They're bringing people through the portal as well.
He's going to jump in and get aggressive. He's going to look to try and fight this. The Requiem will push him back. Tianming, he'll step back in and die. He's gone. Arme
dangerous spot.
Is now completely surrounded, and with no Requiem to kind of protect him and push them back, he's incredibly vulnerable. Kiyotaka is able to clean up the double kill.
They don't even have to use the roar. Miro was trying to catch the puck with it. They knew that Ame was just stuck in place. He knew he didn't have to use it. PYW.
Got the shard slow. And Roar at the ready just to make sure that the job's an easy one. And at the end of it all, Kataomi baiting them with the Enchantress play. It works out perfectly. They spend too much time going for it. And not only did BetBoom get the Roshan, they get some pretty big kills. The big one in particular being taking down Arme.
And immediately smoking. They have Blink on save. So they're going to look for another attempt of catch. I mean, anybody it feels like they do grab is just going to get burst from this TA. Kiyotaka having a phenomenal game again.
Yeah, with this fight under their wings and the Roshan as well, BetBoom, they are very much back on track with the sort of level of lead that they'd hoped to have with this draft. And if they can kind of get snowball this into further aggressive movements, they'll have a pretty good hold on this game.
They have, it just feels like it's easier for them to make the moves around the map because they have so many different forms of catch, with Save having the blink so early.
They're just making these plays look pretty simple. They find XXS in the same position they found him earlier. He can't run.
Yeah, I've got worries. I do have some worries for XG. Unless they can start to stall things out massively, I do feel like BP, they're just going to look to control the map and perhaps soon look to take these tier 2s very early because they've got this helm finished up. And Doom, you know, we mentioned the 15 talent, but he's level 12, so it still takes time to be able to get that.
I mean, this is one of the reasons why I think Miro's sort of just stuck to the build. He was like, well, the amount they're going to be able to get done before Doom has that answer is going to be huge, and maybe even they could take the game before he gets 15 if this continues. I think Xtreme, maybe 5 minutes ago, they might have felt, hey, you know what, we're doing fine, we're hitting creeps. Kind of doing what Xtreme does in a lot of their games, right, when it speeds up against them. They kind of keep up, but now at this point, 18 minutes in,
Kiyotaka is playing very aggressive.
The game is starting to hurt quite a lot.
He's getting coiled. Can he get the blink off? Oh. Did he rebound off of the Willow while he used this? I mean, he messed up with the rebound there, so they're not going to be able to get that catch onto the TA even as he went onto the high ground. Coil's been used. And I'm watching Pure is at the ready to join into these fights. He's got the ult. So they have to be careful how they commit into this next upcoming fight. Save almost has his lasso back up too. I mean, there's going to be the big step up in damage for Kiyotaka. He's got the full death, so picks up a specialist array as well. So this TA, 19 minutes in, is going to be hitting like a truck. And she's enabled. And even the Enchantress can't laugh out Katomi. He's 6,000 net worth on his Ench. I believe he has the Dragonlance, he has Drum, so he's also going to be dealing a fair bit of damage if he's not dealt with.
They're trying to start something here. Xtreme, XM's in with the jump, they get the fear out.
Fear.
Two of them, XXS is in with the Doom. Drops it down onto Miro. Solar Guardian backup comes in from Pure. They'll turn straight towards XXS. The Doom's gone. Miro, he'll retreat out the fight for now. They get the lasso control on towards Ame. Here comes the damage for Kiyotaka. He's just destroying them all. Double kill for Kiyotaka. Miro will die at the end of it. But overall, it's BetBoom cleaning up the fight. PYW will go for the TP out. He'll make it away. But BetBoom, they will be able to keep the pressure on off the back of these kills. It's tier 2 in trouble. They have to put the fortification.
That was a wild jump from them. I did not expect him to really just commit for that. I think Miro barely even ticks out at the end of it with that Doom. And Ame just can't play the fights.
No, gets lassoed into the silence with the traps from Kiyotaka.
Save does this a lot in his bat. You know, when he's playing versus heroes that absolutely hate to be repositioned, I feel like he always finds. And he finds Ame, and immediately once Ame's in the fray, he's just dead in seconds. There's no way for them to actually reposition or save him, and he's very fragile still at this point without anything like a Manta or... Yeah, as soon as he gets grabbed, he's dead.
I mean, they just got a big problem now, Xtreme Gaming, because fighting into this Templar Assassin, it's just not an option. I mean, what do you do at this point? It feels like Kiyotaka's going to be pushing for these objectives, have the team behind him. I don't know if you can stop this TA right now.
You got to catch him maybe when the Aegis starts ticking out and you go for this Doom play onto him. But he had the Aegis in this last fight, so you can't actually go for that Doom option onto him. Kiyotaka playing aggressive here. Solar up in 15 seconds. Shivas is now done. XXS does sell away those drums, buys the Shivas for the next upcoming fight. It's eyes on how much they can land with the combo with the coil. They're gonna go for Miro.
Solar Guardian is coming in, and Kiyotaka's in position to start lining up the sidelines and getting the damage out.
Look at Miro.
XXS, he's gonna fall. I'll see if they can get anything more at BetBoom. I mean, quick back away from Kiyotaka, who won't push his luck. They'll settle with the 1-for-1 for now.
Good Spirit Vessel there from PYW. He threw it on to save, so he canceled his Blink Dagger. I was a little worried as soon as I saw Ame. I was like, oh, save might just blink Lasso him and put him into a dangerous spot, but good play there from PYW. So a 9K lead already. They do find these small pickoffs, but it costs them the entire 5-man team to be able to look for that type of play, and it's not a good trade. You know, they lose their Doom out of it. BetBoom just ready for all the moves. Kiyotaka up to 8 stacks now on the Deso. And his next item is already queued up, so he's looking to just be that puck answer.
Oh, and they get the jumps here.
He's going for the backline.
Shadow Realms off just in time, so PYW will live.
Maybe some miscommunication there, though.
They got a little greedy, right? They felt they could maybe go for both of the targets. They don't get either of them.
That was that was like a guaranteed kill on XM, so Save probably telling Kiyotaka, come on, man, go for the right target. But either way, we see XM, he did get a Gossamer's Cape, so we'll have to try to keep track of that one if it ends up making him live versus the TA in particular. One of the best neutrals versus Meld. Success. Blink back. That base ward, it's lasted full duration. That just feels like a much more lax game for BetBoom too, as they're scaling on multiple different fronts. You know, I keep just looking at Katomi's net worth. He's gonna soon get to the Doom's net worth points, which is
That's pretty crazy. To catch up to a Doom at 23 minutes in as a support ench.
You can never write off how much damage he can do if he's forgotten in a fight. And there's a lot of things overall for the side of Xtreme that they have to bring attention to. So trying to bring attention to an Enchantress as well too could get complicated unless they get multiple hero coils. So for XG, for me, for them to win fights upcoming, it has to be like a 3-man Dream Coil into a Fear or a Requiem, one of the two that combos. But difficult to execute at this point.
They're going to try it. The smoke up here around the mid.
Hero. Will show.
They're going to jump. It's a 1-man Dream Coil. Only onto Miro.
That's not enough.
That is not how they want to start the fight. Xtreme's got to be careful. XXS, he dropped the Doom down onto Save, so he's tanked the Doom here on the bat. I mean, the supports may suffer. I say that, though. The heal's coming in from the Solar Guardian, trying to save Katomi. Katomi will finally fall, but it's taken an awful lot to bring down just the support Enchantress.
4 ults to just get that 1 kill. Of course, they did get the Solar Guardian reaction, but... 5 ults, sorry. I forgot about the Willow one there as well. At least they pushed them away to get some time to farm, but Roar is up, and so is that Lasso, so could definitely see BetBoom look to re-engage off of that. How long on Roche too? that could be an option that they look to set up for this next Rosh in the next few moments. It's going to be a 50-second spawn, so it'll be up top soon.
Haste.
Kitaka running right in.
He's got so much damage with his Daedalus.
He's going to 3-shot him.
He's dead.
This TA is a big problem. XM also, can he get out? There's the Gossamer to dodge one hit.
I'm going to get the trap silence momentarily, but XM should be able to jump out. But Kitaka, I mean, this TA is kind of ruling the game.
It is.
I know there's some like sweet moves around being done by the team, but Kitaka's just out of control.
He's had games like this. You know, the thing is that we have to just say always is Kitaka. Keep it calm, keep it steady, because he's had a couple of these where he does overextend. Pure. Setting up for top. There are heroes on the side of XG ready.
I mean, BetBoom's coming to help him.
Pure. He's in.
That's what the response is.
He's got the BKB.
But they've got to be careful. They get the last
They
here
found
on
Ame.
They found the big target. Mira's got the roar to follow up, and Kitaka, he's got the damage. Ame's gone. XXS to fall. Double kill for save somehow, as he's the one to pick up the final touches onto them. They're killing them all. XML Dream Coil and jump away.
Can he get away? Should be able to. And Tianming should also be able to. But Pure, just baiting them. As we said, he's not the real carry this game on that Dawnbreaker.
Yeah, it's all Kitaka. Yeah.
Level 20 now being hit, so he's got the Refraction Dispel.
Basically, it's kind of just what Kitaka with the two offlaners. It feels like this game, which is perfectly fine and fits for this sort of draft and play style where they're trying to run over the game in sub 30 minutes.
Absolutely, and they have the Enchantress. So they have these like secondary, you know, tertiary cores, whatever the word, I can't say that word, but whatever. And yeah, Ame, it's just every single time. He's going to show, and he's going to get Blink Roared, or he's going to get Blink Lassoed, or both. They can just full commit onto him because he is the majority of that damage that's going to be kicking off. As we said, it is a 4 Protect 1 now completely at this point because the puck is totally answered. And XM, he hasn't died yet, which is a bit surprising on the puck. But at one point where he makes a slip up, if they put more attention to him, he will just die. Because they have all that big burst. And that's the Rosh. Even without Mira, well now Mira turns up, but they are able to claim this one with ease without him. And bottom, they're prepping. Save, he's got the lasso. XM has shown himself. Will Save find him? Looks like not.
They're ready to push this bottom lane. Look for that last tier 2.
They have a ward on this high ground that's been there for 2 minutes already, so they're watching. They're at least watching XXS, and if they do jump on top of him, it's a pretty free kill. Does not have the BKB to reset away. He is going to sell the Midas. Okay, so now he does have the BKB. These upcoming fights, they need a bigger coil if they're going to try to go for the go for like an actual team fight. Can't just go for a single target. They're going to smoke again.
It's risky. Extreme Gaming, they know that the pressure's on.
Can they get Ame a fight where he can actually attack? That's the question.
He has suffered in the last few team fights. Dies very quickly to Kitaka.
Trying to get the wrap. They've got a good
pretty good wrap around. XM, is he going to get the chance to get him with the 2-man silence? They'll drop the coil onto the 2 supports as well. The roar comes out.
It's on the Doom.
They'll lose save, but the cores of BetBoom, they're ready to fight fit here as they take down the Doom. Miro, he'll have to back up to the high ground, but Kitaka's in position to lay down the damage, take out Tianming.
XM?
He's jumping forward, trying to finish off the kills, but he has to orb away from these traps. Cannot afford to get caught by a silence.
Buyback.
The buyback comes out from Tianming.
BetBoom might have to reset away from this one. They did kill the Doom instantly before he got a Doom off. That was actually a pretty good approach there from the side of XG. XM.
Jumping
back in.
Kitaka, of course, still has the Aegis. Chasing on by this, into the traps. So it's a bit of a spooky area at the map for them to keep running down Kitaka. They'll try with the Brambles, but they won't catch him as BetBoom's able to get out. As BetBoom overall will take the 2 kills, only losing save, and also causing Xtreme to use a buyback.
Very quick roar coming out from Miro. They saw XXS, they instantly throw it onto him. It was actually a very good terrorize that ends up kind of breaking that fight a little bit there. Otherwise, I think it would have been very difficult there for the side of XG. I think they would have lost at least 2 more heroes. XM, the Manta, he's got that Dispel. And we're seeing the build from Pure, just tanking up a little bit more. The AC going to be very valuable versus the SF.
Yeah, very much for the Orchid into AC. It kind of knows its position this game and is looking to just enable the game of Kitaka even more. Have a bit of control, have those auras for him.
What does Kiyotaka have now? A full BKB. Finds the Vindicator's X as well, so even more damage for him. Katomi also finds a quiver, so just keep pointing out these little things that make him even stronger. And they are building more and more control for the puck. Now the Hex has been queued up for the Beastmaster since Kiyotaka's got full damage. Since XM is being pesky, he is kind of jumping in and out of the fights. We did mention how there was going to be some limited disables for him, but it's just not quite enough to be able to win the fights. It's just to be, you know, kind of getting some kind of trade still at this point. Roar almost comes out.
It's going to come out still. And it's enough.
More than enough. And that's a gem. I think they just, I mean, they bought that one before they did the smoke bottom.
Sure.
But that's a humongous kill. He hadn't died yet. They get the killing spree. It goes on to Pure. And that lead jumps from an 11K to a 15K in seconds off of that. Actually, I really think that they're completely reliant on how much he can get with a coil. If he can get like a 3-man coil into the Fears, and now with the puck dead for so much time, they're going to be stuck in their base.
Amplified damage room for Kiyotaka as well. Ready for the next play in that bottle.
Trying to step outside Tianming. Will be spotted by the ward, so they are completely aware that that one was placed up on the high ground.
Kiyotaka's going to pop the amplified damage. Look at these big hits coming in.
Was that
was just one hit, 80% of his HP gone.
Oh my god, was that an instant headband by Tianming? Yeah, it was. So with the vision that he had, he was able to at least protect himself, but almost dies instantly. STA is terrifying. 50 seconds still left on this Aegis. That power play is pretty good. A 7K lead off of that Aegis play.
I should be able to get this tier 2 towards the end of it as well. On this bottom lane.
And with the BKB overall. And they just have a lot of ways to play around the combo that we keep mentioning. You know, for XG, they need to land a big wombo combo, but they've got BKBs. They've even got that Starbreaker that we did see Pure purchase up or get early on to be able to counteract some of the combo. Kiyotaka will be able to claim that tier 2. They're starting to control what feels like 80 to 90% of the map. And the net worth really starting to reflect it. It's just growing faster and faster. And Aghanim's now also for save. Harder and harder for XG and for Ame in particular.
Yeah, it's definitely gearing up to be one of those games where it's going to take quite the monumental mistake from BetBoom to let this one slip away from them.
Which has happened.
Which has happened.
From Kiyotaka in particular. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to point him out.
It
but
has happened.
You know, with his Earthshaker, I think that's the one that all of us are thinking about from the tournament. He's queuing up the MKB, so I do think he saw that the butterfly was almost done for Ame. And speaking of Ame, they did see him with this ward. Can he get himself back to base?
Straight over.
Got a trap to slow him down. Save.
Maybe they jump the Doom instead. Yeah, they'll look for the grab on XXS.
Does he bring down Kiyotaka godlike?
No buyback on XXS either.
It's almost the MKB done for him.
I'm trying to see, has he actually had any chance to eat any of these Ancients?
I don't think a single time. Not that I've seen, at least. I was trying to keep track of it, but I don't think he's had an opportunity. Maybe in the bottom fight, but I don't. I think he just blinked in and got roared instantly, so I don't think he's been given an opportunity to do so. And this time they'll be able to take away the Tormentor, give that one to save. Not the most useful, of course, of support, but
they're not looking to go too heavy on the push.
They're just the lead is growing. The gold lead in particular, it's growing
pretty
massively.
Crazy.
Yeah, in just a couple of minutes, right? It was at 12K or so at the 30-minute mark. In 3 minutes, they've gotten 13,000 or so, or 11,000 extra of a lead. And more of these items that make it really difficult for XM in particular to jump in and out of the fights. That Hex now finished up from Yarrow. There go the treads, and the MKB is done.
I'll probably just wait for the next Roche. Minute until we'll see when it's back up.
Yep, if they want to play it as safe as possible. They have, look at the zone coverage they have with the traps and the wards.
They just have the whole map.
They see, it's a Christmas tree, really. They see
it's hard, and they're going to try and smoke out. It's not easy for Xtreme, but again, feeling like they've got to try and see if they can catch BetBoom by surprise. But BetBoom, they seem pretty prepared. They're smoked up themselves.
Can Ame, that really is the question. Can they get multi-hero coil with Fear, and can Ame stand his ground and hit? We shall see, because yeah, BetBoom just very ready, even bringing Pure. Not wanting him to just Solar Guardian into the team fight. They're actually having him here as well for this. And they know. Hey, look at
themselves in the mid, yeah, with the raise.
Look at the map. I mean, look at the way that the lanes are too. So yeah, BB reading it perfectly.
Not going to find anything here, Xtreme. BetBoom keeping the waves pushed in. And Xtreme, they just don't really have anything to do on this side of the map. With none of the creep waves with them.
And it's Roche really soon. 2 seconds till we find out how long it's going to be till it spawns. It's again about a minute. But they're in prime position right now to set up for it. They already have coverage of wards in the top area. They're going to start poking high ground. So he's got to get back. Lift does get forced. We'll see the heroes back. Save is pinging. Or sorry, it's Kiyotaka actually who pinged there. Starting to see these Lincolns queued up, at least for Ame in particular, since they are playing versus that Lasso and the Roar. But Save having such an early Aghanims is going to cause issues for that too, because he can grab, the first target and bypass the Lincolns on the second target if they're standing together. If they even get the Lincolns, of course, since they're not really able to get outside and get much farm. Yeah, Roche, 10 seconds.
Do they have another smoke to try and get over here?
I was checking their inventories. I don't think they... Yeah, they have one, but
do.
I don't think they can fight there.
Oh, this is way too quick for the T8.
I think they have to fight on high ground. Hope for the overextension to get that multi-fear.
Well, who's taking the Ags?
I would say Miro.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, maybe they pass it to Pure too.
That could be pretty big for saving people from getting focused by Ame.
I kind of like it on Miro though, because it makes him. But does he have slots for it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he took.
Yeah. He eats it. Yeah, he's fine. Okay, good. It's like, wait, what am I talking about? Eating it. Lincoln's, you said done, on the way to Parasma for XM, but yeah, just they're not getting any farm, and this gold lead is just getting tremendous.
It's getting
on top of that blessing.
Pretty wild.
The 2 supports are very strong with the net worth that they've got now too, and yeah, these 3 cores just getting to ridiculous levels.
Yeah, it's gonna take a beyond monumental mistake now from BetBoom.
Lotus Orb on
30,
success.
Yeah, 31k lead, 36 minutes in. They got the Aegis. This game, it's looking all BetBoom.
All BetBoom. And they have repositioning to pull people out of the base.
Yeah.
Right, so they have save if he does see the angle, that the game could just end explosively. Almost 25 on Kiyotaka. I love this Granite Golem. Every time I see people standing next to it, I'm like, my goodness, they're so tanky late game. That 19% extra HP. Everybody's pretty much a 3. Even the Enchantress, you're like a 3,000 HP hero.
I guess the question is, how do they go about hitting the high ground? What was the planning for BetBoom to try and push this to the victory?
If Save sees an opportunity to get the lasso, pretty much, right? But they can just play it patient and contain them, because they're farming. Now it feels like 95% of the map, while XG's farming nothing. They're farming literally the creep waves that are coming into them, and that's it. This one could get to some 40 to 50k gold leads. So look at the way that they're dispersed on the side of BB. Everybody is hitting a different area of neutrals. They're not getting punished for it either. It's not really a way for the side of XG unless they want to just commit.
The hidden ones have blessed me.
Full Swift Blink now for Kiyotaka. Yeah, Save is farming a BKB. Pure finished up his Bloodthorn. I think he bought something else too. I think he bought the Harpoon. They're spending all their gold, but they're just playing. Yeah, playing to just farm on the map.
Yeah, they're chilling.
They're chilling. Mo chill. Two level 25s hit. As we saw, the Meld hit bash is online. Level 26, actually, in fact, onto Pure.
Dire's courier.
And it's not like... it actually does have... they have good team fight if the overextension happens onto the high ground just versus the BKBs. It makes it a lot more complicated. And they don't have these type of repositioning tools this time around like we've been seeing in a lot of games. They don't have a Tiny. They don't have a Tusk. They don't have a Bat. They don't have this type of way to just grab somebody and pull them out of position. No,
yeah, the high ground hold is not anything spectacular with their lineup.
It's team fight execution, pretty much, not a gotcha.
Sam. Miro's going to be hunting him down.
Miro's on him, and there's the Hex.
Find him. Hex into the Raw, into the Bloodthorn.
That's another gem that they just purchased for him to try to get outside to clean up some of these traps. Kiyotaka also in position
he's waiting
for this.
He's seeing if he gets a solo opportunity, but Xtreme won't.
They didn't take the gem. So I see
still there?
I see a courier. It's flying to attempt for the steal. So at least they'll be able to recover that gem, it does look like. But that could be the opportunity for them to go high ground. With that pickoff, 60 seconds, they've got the banner down.
Dire's top tower is falling.
40,000 gold lead.
Will XM feel pressured to buy back?
Break the Lincolns. Ooh, nice Manta.
I'm able to get away from that attempt, but the barracks still falling as the range Rex is gone.
XM dead for 45. He does not want to buy.
They just can't push Kiyotaka off these barracks. They've got the fortification.
Hey, look at Miero. He's probably spam clicking the hex on top of his TA if anybody jumps.
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
Timeless Relic also for save. It's coming out on the courier. Kiyotaka will just reset back onto the low ground.
At the least, looks like they won't have to use the XM buyback.
They don't, but structural damage already hitting.
It certainly is, yeah. 42k lead.
Yeah, it's gonna
It's
get
to one of the crazier leads.
Yeah.
You know, we're passing the 1k gold a minute. And BetBoom.
It looks like they'll just keep growing up.
I was going to say, because they're about to lose the Aegis.
Yep.
So they might just be like, well, we're not going to try and end the game yet.
Xtreme, looks like they're going to try to fight outside. It is fighting into this ward that's placed. It is fighting into a high ground where BB is positioned, and they are smoked up, or ninja geared on 2 heroes, and there's an amp damage on Kiyotaka too.
They need to find like Pure alone.
The scan hits.
Pure's already out. He was solo down bottom, but TP's over towards the triangle, so they're not even going to get the catch onto the Dawnbreaker.
The scan connects, but walking into the high ground is...
You almost can't do it. They might just sort of get onto this side of the map and TP back to the base.
And the high ground is getting hit. There's double catapults.
They're walking into this.
Oh, this is scary. Miero.
BKB immediately. XXS is going to drop the Doom down onto it.
He's resetting away, though.
Kiyotaka still has this amplified damage room. They've got to be so careful how close they get towards the TA. They've got to start backing up a save. He's not going to let them. He's in with the lasso, drags back XXS. They get the Solar Guardian straight down onto Arme. Arme pops to the physical damage of Kiyotaka, as they may indeed just tap out with this, as there's no buybacks. They gave it one attempt to get out on the map, find some sort of surprise play, catch BetBoom, but it did not happen.
It's been over. It has felt like it's been over for some time. They're trying to find that one opportunity team fight, but Save, he gets the double lasso on both of the cores. The SF and the Doom just get brought down pretty much instantly. 50,000 gold lead. No SF.
Almost certainly discussing the next game. And they'll tap out now. GG is called. And again, well, this definitely was one that was over for quite some time, as BetBoom, they knew how to get ahead, and quite seriously so. It was a bit of a slow start, 10 minutes to happen with this exciting stuff in the draft, right? We were watching it. Everybody was home, was wondering, are they going to go to the jug?
Come?
It doesn't come out today. They go for something different. They get the Arme Nature's Prophet.
Okay. So it does provide them more aggression and ways to make moves around the map early on. Strong lanes, though, still from BB that they've gotten. And the bottom one in particular, the Mars and the Hoodwink, very aggressive lane, and Nature's Prophet could struggle a little bit depending on the positioning. So I'm going to be watching bottom lane, especially how much Tianming's able to do, because there has been games where Tianming just plays so well as the 5 that he secures the lane for Ame, but it's just been difficult versus a team like Bet, because they just are very good at playing those lanes and dominating them. So let's see how things kick off. As it looks like a much better draft from XG in comparison to that last game overall of things, but yeah, BetBoom just having a very strong one as well, to a very comfortable one that they've played with what feels like many times before, and lots of buffs, as they were mentioning for that gyrocopter. It's not going to be drinking buddies for the Tusk. We've been seeing a lot more of the tag team, but at least in the laning phase, it does do a lot of work. And overall for that lane, I think we've seen now so many times either like an SF or a gyrocopter when he's playing versus a Sand King in the lane, and how much they're able to do to shut down that Sand King early. It's going to have to come from recovery of stacks. We shall see how these lanes go.
Last game, Kiyotaka on the TA.
He dominated.
Very much did so. It's quite a different, sort of approach, right, when you're playing an Invoker, obviously compared to the TA. You're unlikely to be this hero that's top of the net worth, zooming ahead. So a much sort of different balance of how things are going to be split with farm priority on BetBoom this time round, as opposed to that game 1 strat that they dominated with.
But Kiyotaka's early game has been, honestly, to me, incredibly impressive throughout all this tournament. It's, yes, a couple of the games, it's like I keep mentioning the Pango versus the Monkey was impossible. But yeah, this is what we're saying, top.
Tag team.
This lane, it's so hard for the Sanking. I think I've seen this every single game that Sanking gets picked. He just gets run down immediately level 1. They have to go back. They rely on stacks in order to recover him. So Pure, he's going to have a very, very good time up top. And I would say, honestly, all 3 lanes do look pretty strong from the side of BetBoom. Bottom is just the one that can be a bit more volatile for me, depending on how Tianming's able to play with this clockwork. Mid lane perhaps is going to be a bit of that exchange of farm, but Kiyotaka, I think he's going to do just fine. He's going to perhaps even just pull ahead of that Storm. And the way I'm seeing him play, he's just playing for harassment. So he's just poking XM every single time he steps up. Poke, poke, poke.
Just some pretty good supports to come in for, you know, pre-Storm 6 rotation, right? The Hoodwink or the Tusk could definitely set up for XM to get punished early this game.
Yeah, especially that Tusk again, though. Top, they are starting to get aggressive.
Oh, it's a good Burrow strike.
It's a beautiful one from XXS. Nicely done. Able to get the angle this time around. Yeah, they could. I could definitely see rotations come early on. The Tusk in particular, I've seen a lot of these plays with the Storm steps up on high ground, and these tornadoes, or like the Invokers just tornado cold snap, and a TP comes in from the support to try to set up for a kill. But not for a while, because I do think that Katomi, he wants to stay top. He wants to try to shut down the Sanking as much as possible. The side pull is available. PYW won't be able to get that one off. Katomi with a nice contest.
Yes, was even with that early kill that did get against XXS, it's not proving to be the easiest lane for Pure to get the last hits in.
No sentry. I think they lost their sentry up there, right? So Katomi did have to bring one back to be able to try to harass out XXS. XXS getting the kill is very important too. Getting that extra bit of HP is important for him. So having a bracer maybe will allow him to have a bit of a better lane than some of these other Sankings that I have seen struggle.
And overall, obviously, with the draft, we did see a lot of Arme's heroes, the carries, getting banned out. I mean, how far down the list is Nature's Prophet in terms of carries that you want to be playing right now in this patch?
It feels like it is pretty far down, at least in terms of most of the teams, just because it takes a long time to get online. Gleipnir has been nerfed. But if it does get to the super late game, this hero can just win games on its own, so it's always an X-Factor hero that can just win based off of that front. Mid lane, I'm just keep watching. Even though XM, he's farming okay, we're starting to see these denies start to rack up for Kiyotaka. And we always have to mention the Invoker, the levels, the Mastermind, the extra XP that you get. 3 lanes. Looking good. As you said, Ame still getting pretty much the same CS as the Mars on bottom, and we'll see how Tianming's able to set up for a kill or so.
Radiant's courier.
There, I say, if you can see, he's dancing. He's waiting for the cog, the mini game, as we like to call it. Success will contest this. They have a sentry though, so
they might be able to go
on here.
He's got the Burrow strike to get away.
Nice Burrow.
Katomi.
He just
gets finished off by POW, but I mean, he's close to getting the courier as well. Didn't quite get the second hit in.
That was a really, really nice Burrow, to be honest with you. That was beautiful up toward the high ground. Here. Trying to poke, they'll drag the wave. I mean, this is actually going better than I anticipated for the Sanking. Sure, he died right away, but being able to contest the pull, having a bracer early on, pretty good stuff. Because I have seen some of them just literally die. I think I saw 33 one of the games where he was playing versus this exact lane, die like 4 times within the first 5-6 minutes, and then they just had to recover off Ancient Stacks. So they will play off those Ancient Stacks eventually, but having this type of better start will help.
Yeah, bottom lane just continues to go super good for Arme, making easy farm happen with the help of his Treant.
This stupid Treant, man.
It just does so much.
It really is.
Once you get good at kind of laning with it, you can guarantee every last hit.
Yep, gives you that extra damage, gives you the extra little contest that you can do the double hit with. Save. Take some damage here. Should be fine though. Yami's starting to get tanky enough to not have to worry about them ever committing onto him in this early game either. 9 sticks, and he has the Lotus. Kiyotaka will just burn the mana out of PYW. Level 6 already on this Invoker. Storm, only 5.5. Kiyotaka actually 6.5 in fact.
Yeah, he's crushed this mid lane.
Yeah, those denies, they really do start to add up.
With him backing up to the jungle, XM
Dire's
should mean that
top tower is under
he'll get to
attack.
level 6 before any kind of support rotation comes in from BetBoom. Bottom lane,
Nero, they've got the blood grenade.
He's not really got many ways out of this. He should be going down.
He can make him chase for a while. He
He's
gets
got
the
the
Lotus.
Lotus.
He doesn't have a slot for it though. He had his branch in play. He might just be able to get out.
All right. Yeah, they weren't
There's
actually
TP.
quite able to shut him off and get the angle onto him.
He's got the quelling. One more hit. He does actually get brought down from the tree, and it gets the final attack onto him, even though he gets that Lotus off. Didn't use the spear to push away Ame on that TP. Does get caught by it. I like that they were distributing resources there too on the side of XG. They bring PYW mid. I'm always worried when they do that sometimes because you see the Sankings alone, but Sanking doesn't end up dying from it, so while Storm is jungling, they get a benefit out of getting extra XP for this Willow. Let's get Tommy. Start to chase out PYW. They will scout out the stack, and Tianming already in position to go for an attempted steal.
Let's see if Save can stop him from getting away with this.
Let's see. Does he expect it? Cogs. Cuts the tree. He did seem to know.
He's going to get the pickup.
He got
Pushbacks
stunned.
there, Save. Able to secure it with the backup of Mirror.
He close.
Oh, they do.
Ooh, the blood grenade.
Yeah.
Extra damage
I mean,
from
it's absolutely
Save.
needed. Without the blood grenade, he's getting out without TP. So
Oh, that sets
Save
up.
throws everything down.
Yeah.
The Wisdom gets the kill.
That extra hit, yeah, that extra bit of damage is absolutely necessary. Very cool play. 20 denies in mid. Kiyotaka just
Dire's
continuing
bottom
to ensure that he gets that bonus XP. Having a solid separation between him and XM, who's just jungling. 0 points in the Vortex too, so making a rotation right now for the Storm isn't something he ideally wants to do. His mid lane's also pushing in, so he's going to start to get that sap with XP.
Yeah, he's just going to go heavy on the catch-up game with the farm and sort of trust in XXS and Arme to keep this early game together with the good starts that they've had in their lanes.
How's XXS's stacks looking? He does have a double Ancient. Looks like it's going to be a triple Heart Camp. Where's that rune going to be? It'll be bottom. XM does have a point in the Vortex now.
Should get Kataomi. No spells left to pop on his attempted escape.
Nice. And XM does do the same thing that he did the other day, by the way. Soul Ring. I think he's one of the few that I'm still seeing doing it in a couple of these games. Very interesting.
Bottom lane though. Arme.
Ame's having the good time.
Yeah, just getting complete free farm down here after being able to pressure an early tier 1 tower.
And overall, the build, yeah, we'll have to see. It's been the Mjolnir pretty much every single one of the games now on the Nature's Prophet, but a BKB might be pretty necessary early afterwards if he wants to get involved in the game since he's playing versus the Mars and the Invoker. It's a lot of magic damage that BetBoom does have. Tianming could be in a world of hurt here. 43 though, early game. I wouldn't say too bad for the side of XG, even though XM did suffer so much. I think the Sand King did better than I anticipated in this top lane.
Backup's coming in for XXS in the form of PYW.
They've always got the Nature's Prophet TP, so they always have to remember about the numbers on the side of BetBoom, that this can just be that +1. Wrath of Nature is back up as well too, so Ame can just get involved from the opposite side of the map too. Interesting wards. PYWs in particular, we just see the ping around the triangle. XM.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Kiyotaka.
He stepped very far up.
He's got to save.
It's 5 heroes. Okay, they got him.
Well, that'll do the job.
He went very far up to just go for an EMP play. It's a risky move when they always can bring the numbers, as we were mentioning from Ame. Now, tower pressure potentially coming in. He's got a tree in. They pop the glyph even before the first attack comes out, so making sure they don't take any extra damage onto it.
A high level of early game activity is going to be very likely from Arme. Something that we don't, I feel like, see on a lot of the other carries that he likes playing in this patch.
No.
It's a very different sort of play style.
I can't believe he still gets like that much damage on the tower. Just these trees are so ridiculous even before they get the 3x. But he got a pretty good amount when they popped the glyph instantly to stop the first hits. TP's bottom. Good movement from Ahmed. He's got the ult at the ready and... Ooh, that's not the real one. Throws that EMP onto an illusion. Kiyotaka. So have to be careful a little bit there as he steps up because there's a lot of ways of catching him. Level 6 has now been hit on the support. Willow has got it.
It's going much better this time for Xtreme. What they're getting done in this early game.
And they have good team fight to fight around with the Sand King having such a good start and with the Willow having good levels. They can definitely look to set up onto anybody they find here. It's good burst damage.
Dire are scanning.
Finding Mira would be pretty nice.
Or just stealing the stack. Maybe XXS just considers doing so. Yeah, he's going to do it. Heads up move.
Yeah, Mira knows on his own. He can't do anything to push them off it.
XXS, yeah, he's way more farmed than I thought that he would be, just from how those lanes. Just that one death, getting a trade kill and being able to back up and not get his Ancients contested. They're going to look to pressure mid. They want to try to get this tower. They talk off the mark with the tornado. They're going to go in for it
Straight away. Yeah, they look for safe. They'll get him very quick and easy with the Burrow Strike to follow up to the Vortex. To key attacker as well. Into the sentry, but he's got Katomi by his side. The cold snap, the cogs hit drop down. PYW's got the threat, the fear in case BetBoom try to move back in, but they won't. BetBoom retreat.
They get the tower. And Kiyotaka, he's got to be more careful with this position. He doesn't die, but anytime you see like a missed tornado, a missed spell connection, instantly XG is looking to capitalize on that. 2K lead now.
It feels like even with that much better time he had in the lane against XM, he's in these early fights not really able to do as much as XM is, despite XM being behind.
Yeah, he is queuing up the Orchid, so he's going to go down that route to deal with the Storm. But it definitely feels like there's a lot of ways for him to just get caught. He's quite fragile still on this Invoker versus these 3 heroes that can get just on top. Well, 3 heroes now, about to be 4 heroes that can just get on top of him in the early game. The Clockwork has now hit the 6 too. Kiyotaka going for full aggression. Might need one of his teammates to go for something like a Force eventually to just protect him. So I do have some worries for him of how fragile he can be with them just getting on top of him. Yeah, it's Nature's Prophet just free farming. A very quiet game bottom from Yarrow so far. He hasn't been able to find much as this Mars. Things will accelerate, of course, when he gets that Blink Dagger, but XXS is pretty much going to have Bloodstone done.
Oh, they want to kill him, though.
Okay,
they want to slow down the Sand King's game. They'll drop the arena for XXS, completely trap him.
That's
4 of them, they'll take him down.
I was going to say, like, it's getting pretty passive to the point where I feel like XXS is super happy with the game state. Good move from Yarrow, finally getting involved. 5 heroes to the top lane from BetBoom. So XG, they just able to split up, get that farm going.
Yeah, Ame's getting a lot of space.
He sure is.
Top net worth, going straight for that Mjolnir. He's going to have it pretty soon.
I really love this Mjolnir build. It just, I mean, this item is just, I just like it more than Gleipnir. Gleipnir is just lame. Gleipnir just gives you too much. Mjolnir is just fun because of how much damage you can actually dish on a fight, but also the cool little tricks you can do with the static charge to like throw them on your treants or throw them onto an ally. It does a lot of damage in fights. It's disregarded a lot of times.
Top tower taken, Ame. 13 minutes in has basically been the large part of them being able to push down these early tier 1s.
Yeah, all 3. Mid, Kiyotaka again.
They're going to hook shot to follow up. They're going to be able to kill him.
Kiyotaka is, yeah, he's going to start struggling. It really does feel like. Just anytime that he steps out of position.
He had a really good time in the matchup in the lane, but
yeah,
they're really suffering coming out of the laning stage here, Kiyotaka.
Feels like he's not sure where he wants to actually try to hit until he has the Orchid in particular, and just staying in the mid lane, it's opening up the map for XG to make these moves all over the place right now. A 4K lead, it's accelerating quickly. Pure is farming. It just feels like XG, they're the ones dictating pace. They have good ways to take buildings, and they have good ways to keep controlling the map. While for BB, their way to start getting things back into their ways out of team fights in particular, once they start getting the Mars with the Blink, with the Arena, and the Orchid on Kiyotaka. They do have that very soon. I believe the Orchid is about to be finished on the Invoker at least. And the Blink is done from Yarrow.
And for Ame, after this Mjolnir, is there a question of being able to get away with not getting the BKB next, or would that be pretty crazy?
Yeah, I think it's a possibility because of how well that they're doing around the map.
Sure.
Yarrow. Caught in the rotation for BB, it's not quite there. XG just one step ahead. I feel like he could just, I mean, we'll see. Ame does have his own ideas with like builds and stuff, but I've seen like these Hurricane Pike builds into
I wouldn't mind that.
And
it is a game where there's a Tusk with shards, you know, having the Hurricane to escape can be rather nice. But
top,
I'll get it on top of him with the silence. And they'll finish him off.
And he queues up the BKB.
After that, he's like,
yeah, I need it.
They've got silences, they've got setups.
I assumed it would be the BKB, but Ame sometimes has his own, has his own take on these because he is playing versus Invoker and Mars, and those are two always going to be a problem for the Nature's Prophet in the mid game. BB feels like they finally get themselves on the board.
Is under attack.
9-5 though. Can they turn it into anything else is the question too.
Mira's trying to chase. Tianming will have hookshot back up in a few seconds.
Yotaka is stalking.
Xtreme low on the mana. They've got the silence. Xtreme will be able to pick up the arcane. XXS and PYW watching from the side. They're in the burrow strike straight over towards Key Attacker. They're going to be able to turn and take him down. As he essentially just gets baited into trying to commit to get that kill on Tianming. The rest of the team, they were just standing watching Key Attacker, ready to pounce, and they get him.
And it's deceptive too. You're like, oh, it's like a half HP clockwork. And then he Pavises himself. And you're like, oh god, he's so tanky.
He gets another catch to the side. He's in with the burrow strike onto Katomi. Snowball will not save him. Xtreme, they're making this game too look pretty smooth.
They sure are. And XM overall, yeah, you can talk about the laning phase where the Invoker was owning him or, having an advantage, which he should.
Yeah, he's doing so much
XM's
now.
ahead of him, and he, of course, got a little bit of RNG there with the Arcane Rune spawning right next to him, but...
No, I mean, look at his KDA, right? 2-0-6 against Key Attacker's 0-3-2. A very kind of big twist to the outcome when you consider how the lane went between these two.
Pure's got his work cut out for him, and Pure has gone for a very different style build. He's gotten BKB already at this point, so feeling like he maybe like a bit of a desperate point where he has to look to get involved to help his team out because they're struggling so much around the map.
Absolutely, he feels how much the game is speeding up.
Yep. This game is in already a pretty scary state for the side of BB. And Ame overall is just absolute freedom for him. XXS, Bloodstone is finished up so early on. And they're the ones who can actually take towers because they've got this Nature's Prophet. BetBoom just can't really take towers either. They're going to try to set up for mid, but it's a little bit too far. He's scared. Kiyotaka again.
They're just able to catch him in the front of the fight with a burrow strike. XM is in with a follow-up vortex. Kiyotaka will be able to turn with a tornado, but he's dead
again. 0-4-2
oh,
this
it's
game.
Rough. It is rough. He had an incredible game one, but this game two, well, they're catching him every time, and it's on the front of the fights.
He's playing very far forward. Miro not wanting to go for the initiation play. It's too far in the river. He gets punished for the move again. I think XG this time around have really identified things that went wrong in that first game and how to play around the map perfectly. Get a catch, but they actually cut the tree with the cog.
The fear comes in from PYW. Hookshot, he's able to get it off Tianming. The arena's going to get dropped down, though. Tianming will die. PYW, he'll opt for the shadow around TP out, and he makes it away just in time.
That's all their spells committed. XXS not wanting to go in himself.
Back in. I mean, he's got the burrow strike and sent in over towards Katomi. XM zips across. He's got the control on the Key Attacker again. Key Attacker will be able to turn with the Deafening Blast. This time, BetBoom, they've got the numbers. Keep Key Attacker safe. They're turning towards XXS.
He's healing a lot.
Bloodstone. Surely they can still take him down, and they will. This time BetBoom's prepared, and they're able to save Key Attacker.
And it's on the back of Pure having a BKB. So it's because he deviated with his build that he's able to join the fight. Because if he shows up with just like an Aghanims, he might just die to the magical burst that comes out there. With a BKB, he can stand his ground inside of it. BetBoom starting to show some signs of life. Things were looking pretty scary there for a moment. The way that XG was able to just accelerate. Ame, still massive though, as we were mentioning. Mjolnir is done, he's got BKB.
There's BKB. Yep. If he had it a little bit sooner, probably would have sort of considered being more involved in that last play.
And he is gonna go, that Pike build that we've seen. I've seen this build pretty much every single time.
They're watching Ame.
Oh, he could get caught if they can get the instant stun. Do they have the arena? It's in 20 seconds. I think without it, they won't be able to get that kill. Come. He's getting big. And of course, he did get Grove Bow. That attack range, it's going to be a bit of a problem for Pure. He got like what, double? I think it's double the range. I was just checking the exact numbers, but it's almost exactly double range on the Nature's Prophet when he's got just Grove Bow. Once he gets that Dragonlance too, he's going to have so much range advantage versus Pure. He's even TPing over here and stealing the Ancients.
Yeah, he's taking away a lot of the map.
Top tower is under attack.
Just, yeah, having these 3 tier 1s taken so early, too. They just have good control to be able to TP and play a little bit more aggressively. BetBoom. It's going to be a slow game until they can cross the river, it feels like. Don't think they've been able to really do so. Kiyotaka just overall, he is playing a bit more careful after getting caught. These items, they're starting to flurry in on XG, and those BKBs, they're very valuable this game on Xtreme when they get them on all the cores. As they're playing versus an Invoker and a Mars setup. It's going to counteract the majority of that team fight that comes out. I even see XXS. This is not usually what you see on these Sand Kings very early on, but he almost has a BKB as well. So you can see the way that Xtreme wants to play the map, and they want to bring the fights to BetBoom once they've got those BKBs. And have to highlight POIW this game too. He's had some very nice rotations at this Willow this game. He's got the Philosopher's Stone, so he's going to get quite farmed on this Willow too. The Yule's already picked up very early on.
I've been wondering.
Sharp 4, it's going to go the way of PYW.
I mean, actually, they're actually just going to have triple BKB timing, and I think that's when they're going to look to really accelerate things, yeah. XM's about to have it finished, XXS also, and Ame's already got it done, so it does feel like they're going to probably look to accelerate that tempo, and it's not going to be the easiest for BetBoom to be able to fight into those BKBs unless they get the initial lockdown before one of them gets off and bursts the target. BKB almost finished up on Miro. Kiyotaka's still some way away. The Yules ends up dodging.
He's going to have a chance to live here.
He might even turn.
No, they will. They got the hook shot across as well. And that's what's just a bit unfortunate. What the sort of the, I believe, what the Bushwhack and the Sunstrike not really working in perfect synergy there. Ended up dragging him out of the Sunstrike.
Dragged him out and then charging the shot a little bit too long, perhaps, where the Yules comes out and dodges. It takes a split second, right? The frame. But PYW playing it clutch. Top, Tianming getting gone on. He's got a solo.
He can live through this.
Deceptively tanky.
Okay, maybe can't live through the tornado and the deafening blast.
He'll get broadside. Good kill. Kiyotaka finally finding one on his own. Good chunk of XP. We'll start to accelerate his BKB in Pure. We do still have to talk about his farm. Now he's got the farming item. He's got the Aghanims too. It's level 18. He is still having a very, very good time. He's starting to catch up.
Can he 1v5 on the Gyro against this line?
With Alacrity, I would say there's definitely that possibility.
Yeah.
This is one of those heroes that can be pretty crazy, but as we were mentioning, XG, I do think that they right now is when they want to look to accelerate things. Triple BKB timing, they want to look to control even more of the map.
Sure.
Stupendous.
Because that's the thing, well, later on, they don't have a lot to go through the BKB, right, other than the hook shot. They're going to find Pure. Get him the opening, Burrow Strike into the fear, stopping him from getting the BKB off.
They got him
down.
Full chain stun.
And now they're ready to maybe even look for more. TP in from Ame, they get the Sprout down onto Kiyotaka. Kiyotaka's trapped, the Burrow Strike catches him. Xtreme, they find the big 3 kills, and they're ready to get more with Tianming shutting down the Escaper's save. They're going to get 4 here. As Xtreme find a beautiful chance to jump Pure and catch him by surprise.
And Save Your Buddy syndrome comes in there from BetBoom. They all run to try to protect Pure after it, and it doesn't matter. He dies before he gets anything off. They perfectly chain the stuns.
And at this point, yeah, the fight's just completely over for BetBoom.
And when they're at the tower, they have a Nature's Prophet, so that tier 2 drops almost instantly, and they can keep looking to pressure all over on the map. That's the hit they were looking for with their triple BKBs. They find pretty much the perfect target, and they get even beneficial extra kills out of it. And now they can look for Roche. Even though he mentioned Pure getting very farmed, that's exactly how XG wants to be able to play on this map.
Yeah, if they can catch him before BKB, he dies very easily. If he gets it off, that's when it's going to be a bit of a different scenario. Only the hook shot really to interrupt his attacks through the BKB. So as long as next time he's prepared, they've got a bit of a fighting chance, but they get caught out like this once more, and Xtreme is just going to be that far ahead that they're going to be falling into similar territories that Xtreme was in Game 1.
Absolutely.
Where the lead just becomes far too much to turn.
And I feel like Katomi overall in this, he might just have to play now in this position as this Tusk, where he has to just sit next to the Gyro and wait for the moves, so he can get the snowball saves if it does come out.
They do have that save.
They do have the save, but he doesn't have Blink, so it's not easy for him to access it because there's going to be a Willow Brambles that kind of secures the area in a lot of those moves.
Looking at Ame top.
Can they get the chain stun? If he gets BKB off, he's going to live. they're not going to be able to get onto him. Can they finish a tier 1? Maybe the creeps will be able to do so, because they have not been able to really hit these towers too much on the side of BetBoom.
That's true, not a single tier 1 taken 25 minutes in.
And Ame's just going to cut it, and he's just going to kill that siege creep with them since they do the fortified damage, so Ame identifying it.
Mira was trying to finish off that tier 1, but the fortification was there. They should still get it.
They should get it this time.
So finally, able to take a tier 1 tower themselves here.
26 minutes.
Pretty late in the game.
Oh! Just missing with that hook shot. And there's the smoke. They're going to look for another play. BKBs are at the ready.
Well, BetBoom might not expect the smoke coming for this position. They didn't have any vision on this. This could be quite a devastating smoke.
And in the meanwhile, too, the bottom lane is being pushed.
Yeah.
So they have to answer bottom. Claiming high ground here, but XG, they're stalking. Amp damage is popped. Hero. Oh, I think he just stayed out of vision there. They'll get the scan. He's got BKB if he wants to use it. He will.
Have they got hook shot?
They do not.
Nice cooldown. So the BKB TP will save him. Yeah, it was 5 seconds off having the hook shot back there, Tianming.
Oh, Kitaka. That's not going to go so well for him if he does run into Ame.
Can't
He actually just going to... Ame just going to walk right into him.
Oh, hang on, there's an invoker here. Well, I don't think he'll be farming down here again, Fogged.
And he tried to TP, but Ame's 20. So as he TP'd, the Sprout came out and canceled it instantly from the Sprout.
They're even going to get the catch at the same time on the other side of the map onto Miro.
They're getting so much. Just every move is hitting. PYW having a flawless game. Wicked sick on this Willow. And yeah, Kitaka this time. It's the exact opposite that we've seen from some of the games where he dominates early game. He's just really just getting answered.
And it's got to feel rough as well, because this is, I think it's his most played in Pro Dota, right? This is his hero.
Oh, yeah.
But this game, Xtreme, they came prepared. They knew exactly how to stop Kitaka having his game on Invoker.
They ganked him, right? They just waited for him to play a little bit over-aggressive, and they ganked him 3 times in a row to the point
I think they broke him, yeah.
Yeah, he does feel broken. Playing down on the bottom side, just literally walks into Ame and dies.
Big items continue.
Got the Parasma now,
Blink
too.
for XXS, yeah, Parasma for Ame.
His damage has skyrocketed now on this Nature's Prophet.
And they go for the straight blinds. If they hit the scan, they know someone's here. XM,
He got the wisdom. He stole it as well. Doesn't even give them the XP. 15,000 lead. Things are looking pretty impossible for Pure to do that 1v5.
What's he getting next? Gets the Satanic next.
That's just not enough
He needs
damage.
the Satanic, the Daedalus, and the good old Divine Rapier.
It's starting to feel like that pretty fast in this game with how gigantic not just the Nature's Prophet is, but everybody it really is on the side of XG. This Willow is soon going to start surpassing the cores on the side of BetBoom even.
Yeah.
He's pretty close to even Wind Waker.
I mean, just looking at the levels, right, as well. Well, Ame's, he's level 23.
He's level 23.
So the 25, it's not that far away. So I think, Ame is going to be feeling very happy with himself this game, considering how heavily the carries were banned outright. This was something that the Nature's Prophet pick. This was beyond many other heroes that they probably would have chosen, and the BetBoom were able to take away, and he's crushing on it. They're going to try for the setup on him here, but if he's quick with the BKB, he should be fine. And he's able to put the BKB, he's able to turn, backups coming in, he will die. See if BetBoom can get away with getting the kill and getting out. And he's going to look to stand on top of Kitaka, the BKB about to come to an end.
Hook shot onto.
They'll get Kitaka. Pure's trying to fight, but XM, he's got the pullback with the Vortex. The BKB comes out now for Pure, but he's already taken a hell of a lot of damage.
He's got Satanic.
XXS loses him with the Burrow Strike. Snowball will be there. Pure protected for now.
But Pure's in trouble.
And
PYW's on him.
He's on top of him with the Curse Crown, the Bedlam. They'll finish off Pure. I mean, they get Ame, but it cost them so much there, BetBoom.
Man, PYW really is owning. He just jumps right on top of his face afterwards, and yep, your Satanic is down. You do not have any sustain afterwards. It just cost them too much. With the deficit they're at, it takes them forever to really bring down that Nature's Prophet, and XG can just respond in full force.
They get the push going down the mid, take this final tier 2 tower. So yeah, 30 minutes in, they've taken this all the tier 2s, whereas BetBoom, they've only managed to take 2 tier 1s so far this game. The tier 1 mid for Xtreme still standing.
It's been a pretty flawless game from them so far on the side of Xtreme. Not really slipping up at all. Not giving up any kills. Everyone playing nicely. PYW just super quick.
He's so
the way
quick
he's making these moves around.
He's even thinking about saying something in return because Xtreme is on his way over, has a lot of mana to play with, able to close the gap in. Maybe will provide some safety here for Miro, but they've got the detection. They see him, and Miro, he'll not be able to run from this. Save's able to TP out, but Miro will fall once again.
That, oh yeah, he's pretty much has that, well, not yet, but 700 gold from having the Wind Waker. So even if, for BetBoom, the way that they want to play is 100 to 0 a target when they get the arena catch onto them. Now there's going to be that save soon too from the Willow if he just has a Wind Waker. And even then, you know, the full commit, it takes time for BetBoom to be able to pop a target. You see Kiyotaka when he's queued up, that kind of tells you they want to just spear and 100 all in a target, but a Wind Waker could just completely stop everything. And it's still a ways away from him having this Ags. This is not a build that you go any more on Invoker almost ever.
Why is it? What happened to this sort of build?
Spellcaster Invoker is just not as good anymore.
Yeah.
It's all about the right clicks. It's just been like that for some time since he's been universal and since he has this elitist. Yeah, mostly because of the universal. Just hasn't been able to find too much on the map, and he's going to run into Ame again.
I think as soon as he sees Ame, he's not going to show.
He'll ping, so he'll give his team some information that,
sure.
you know, they like maybe we can make him play somewhere else around the map.
Yeah, but not down
the case.
here.
No. And even with, you know, there's no one.
Maybe
really
you can
showing.
block a camp, you know, be a bit annoying. Ame's left this area anyway, so he doesn't really care what Kiyotaka ends up doing down here.
Oh, and I was hoping I would get to see this build from Ame too. This is the one I'm seeing more people do in the pubs. Once you get the Parasma, you go the Revenant's Brooch, and you are literally the anti-carry. You walk in with a gyro with whatever, 30 armor, 20-something armor. You're getting Parasma debuffed, you're getting Grove Bow debuffed, and then he's just bypassing your armor. So you're just getting hit. You're getting hit like a truck. You'd think that your armor's going to help you, but it truly does not. He only has 21, so it's a bit lower than usual that you see on some of these Agi cores, but yeah, once Ame gets this build, he's going to be hitting for over like 500 or something a hit. Who knows how much it actually is. Because what, it's 20% resistance reduction, 15% resistance reduction, plus just turning your attacks into that magical.
Save's gone.
Standard fashion.
Claims another.
Standard BetBoom fashion. Even when they're winning games, they'll die, but when they're losing, they'll for sure lose heroes to Tormentors.
Proper skacks.
And XG. Shield room. I mean, they're at least they're having fun.
You know?
At least they're having a good time out of the game when it is in such a devastating state. I don't think I've ever seen Katomi laugh that hard.
Dire are scanning.
Well, yeah, at least they do recognize, yeah, how at least this day of the game.
Unless Pure can 1v5.
He needs just so much more. If they can get a successful fight win for him to be able to buy, honestly, he might have to just accelerate the Rapier into that next purchase. Daedalus into Rapier. But they're just getting picked off all over the place. They can't even get outside. They are truly trapped inside the base. Kiyotaka, I feel like he's been down here for 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's like, nice. They got Miro, not me. I'll live this time. And that'll be his Aghanims done.
Where did he Sunstrike? Did he Sunstrike a creep? I didn't actually see. He threw one somewhere, but I didn't actually see where it was.
He's waiting.
He's waiting for that.
Waiting for that final 10 gold.
Yep. Roche. Easy pickings. And Ame.
25's coming up
That's 25, and it's pretty close to having that Revenant's Brooch on top, too. I've been watching a good chunk, even I don't know how I still have the time in between these games, but I've been watching some like these pub games in between, and this is just the build now that I'm seeing from all these Nature's Prophets, and it's so insane how much damage you do. There it is, the OP Treant. Did he summon one of them yet? I think he actually summoned a regular one. That one's not the OP one. Well, it's OP, but it's not the super OP one. Here it comes. Dun, 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 dun. And no Dagon anywhere on the horizon, right, for any of the heroes on the side of BetBoom to just insta-kill that Treant. It's going to be quite pesky. Tormentor. This time they won.
Yeah, they do manage to steal it.
Save right time to die. Oh, man. So at least they're getting something out of the map, out of the, you know, pretty horrific game state that it is.
Yeah, not bad being able to secure both Tormentors.
Yeah.
Plus your 21,000 gold behind as a team.
Yep, a little bit of something, something.
Yeah.
And Katomi does almost have the blink. So he's going to have to be that save function for Pure.
Sure.
And it has to get there between it all and allows him to get that BKB off and somehow to get the damage.
That's true.
And Pure, he's accelerated. He's not even queuing the Daedalus now. He's queuing the Rapier, which it does feel necessary. It does feel like they need a rapier at this point with the game.
Not too far off it. Nice success. Standing guard.
Yeah, PYW does have Wind Waker, so the target that BetBoom is gonna try to look to full focus. He can just go for a blind Wind Waker play, and
He's ready to go.
They're gonna go for the combo.
He's gonna jump on a Pure. They've got to try and bail Pure out of this somehow, but they
cannot.
can't. Pure's gone. Saves dead as well. I mean, Pure has buyback, but even if he comes in with it, this game feels pretty much over.
Yeah, he needs to save for the...
Nero tries for a spear. He's off the mark. He'll get the BKB off. It doesn't matter. Dies through it.
Another one. Oh, a hook shot, even deep.
Straight under the tier 4. The buybacks are coming out. Kiyotaka, can he be saved? He'll get the Sunstrike. The Cataclysm's out.
It does kill PYW.
And XM is very, very low, and he's not the one with the Aegis. So XM, he's gone. They are defending, but Pure, he's
Look
got
at
a
the
second
damage.
time, and indeed, Arme's right clicks. Doing far too much for Pure to survive through. He's out for 2 minutes. A dieback for him. As there we go. Well, with that, we're going to a game 3. It's going to be quite an interesting one because this series so far, we've had 2 games that have been pretty one-sided for.
Yeah, does feel like it's been 2 that are kind of...
Cameras. We'll see who gets the last laugh, and yeah, if they're going to keep those smiles on their face after this one, because it could get rough, because on paper, we don't know what on earth they're doing, folks. This is a crazy draft.
I actually know what they're doing. I figured it out. They each asked, what hero do you each want to play? And they each got to pick their own hero. That's literally what it looks like. Katomi's like, I want to play a Warlock.
Okay.
Kira's like, I want to play a Magnus. Everybody's just looking to play the hero that they wanted, is what I think it looks like, because this looks... I have no idea. I don't know what this draft is supposed to accomplish with the carry Magnus, especially versus a very stable draft of the side of Xtreme Gaming.
I mean, this is a draft around a good old solid Arme Alchemist.
Yeah. This is going to be an interesting one. We're going to have to see if it ends up working, because if it does, maybe that's just the way to go. Just ask your team what they want to play, and you pick these heroes, because this looks absolutely crazy. Kiyotaka also, after that last game where he had a very rough time in the Invoker, he says, give it to me again. Let's see how he's going to be able to do as well this time around. It looks a little bit easier for him to play in terms of the supports getting on top of him, because I feel like the 2 supports last game were 2 of the best to gap close and put pressure onto an Invoker, but yeah, I don't know what his side lanes... The top lane, we know what it does. This is a strong lane, right? We have a Dawn Tusk. This is one very normal.
That's the most
this
normal
is the normal
lane
stuff.
Going.
They've got 3 things. Well, 2 things normal, right? They have the top and the mid lane. It's just this bottom lane that is just... It's just bizarre. It's just odd.
Yeah, because kind of checking it, it is something what Pure in pro play. I mean, he obviously played it in different positions in the past, but in his pub games over the last few weeks, he has been playing a lot of Magnus.
But it just
He's had mixed results.
Doesn't feel that great though, and
he's dead.
He looks quite dead.
So we'll see.
Because it's also about like the timings in particular of a Magnus versus an Alchemist, right? The timings. Can you actually accelerate things that fast as a Magnus?
Yeah, he's got interesting. He's got a whole. He's been trying out a lot of different stuff.
I saw some Midases when I checked the earlier.
He's got like BKB Harpoon build. He's done like Manta Silver Edge build. Okay. He's done SMY to Shadow Blade. So he's done a lot of experimentation with the Magnus. Okay. No doubt about it.
And now they're going to experiment in a pro game with it.
Yeah, and indeed one of the experimentation was Midas.
How'd that one go?
060 16-minute GG. So let's hope for BetBoom that one doesn't happen here for Pure. Yeah. But he's experienced a lot of different scenarios with his carry Magnus in his pubs.
Yep. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's like a loss of words with what this is, with what that safe lane is in particular. So maybe they are just looking to ride on the coattails of the other 2 lanes, and then they did just ask Pure and Katomi, what do you want to play? Since those are the last 2, the Warlock plus that Magnus. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how much he can get done or how little he can get done in particular on the Magnus. Because Warlock also, I feel like nobody is playing this except for Kadaro, right? I think nobody else actually picks this hero but him.
You can do a lot of damage with Warlock.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Well, the Fatal Bonds, right? I think
Can he?
Eventually.
Maybe. They do have... The one thing is, though, like Warlock, Centaur is probably one of the best heroes versus Warlock in the game. You counter quite a lot of his toolkit. The Upheaval, not as popular anymore. Well, Upheaval overall used to be one of the most powerful ones, but you just Stampede. You can walk through it. Getting on top of Warlock is also Warlock's nightmare, and that's exactly what Centaur can provide you in a lot of games, too, so... Let's see. They will get the side pull bottom. So Pure. Or they're going to try to get the side pull. XXS will be able to stop that one. Just walks up and drags the creep wave. And overall, XXS should have he have a pretty free time down here as the Centaur. Only 10 last hits right now, so he's getting slowed down a little bit, but yeah, his last hits will start to go back up very quickly.
Just looking forward to see which build Pure goes for. It literally has been a different build every game he's practiced in his pubs.
Theory crafting this game, SNY does have its merits. They are playing versus a good chunk of disables, so I could see something like that Treads SNY. I think he did one of those games, right, where he did Treads SNY? Or did he not? Did you Treads Master Madness SNY?
He must have because he sold the Treads, but yeah, it went Treads SNY, Shadowblade, BKB.
Okay. Maybe that
was the most recent one, but he did lose that one.
Okay. That one I could see the merits versus the tons of lockdown that comes out.
His most successful game was Treads into Echo, into BKB, into Harpoon.
So that's much more standard, kind of old school build that we used to see from all Magnuses. So yeah, we shall see. Right now, lane's not looking too bad. We said, the top and the mid lane, those are the ones that are very standard, very, very strong, especially versus something like that Alchemist. So they are slowing down Ame a little bit. Might actually, that's a beautiful trap.
The concoction off, but trying to walk away from these two. Can he escape? Ooh, he's going to be able to get back.
To slow. He's got another hammer and 4, but he doesn't want to chase.
Tianming coming in clutch there to make sure that he could get out alive.
The Ghost. Look at the Frost attack go.
Yeah, slows him down. Yeah, good stuff there from Tianming on the Chen, providing the backup just in time.
Precious bounty.
There's a lot of wombo combo too with this Magnus. Maybe the Magnus Fatal Bonds is actually kind of hype.
If they can land
this is going to be so interesting to see. If they can,
it's a big if.
It is, and it's also into what they're playing against too, which is a lot of disable and some tanky bruisers. Centaur, Alchemist, Pango. These three are going to be starting fights, kind of running on top of you. So maybe that's what they're expecting. Them just to get wombo combo because they are making those type of aggressive plays.
Tianming continuing to do a great job here, just making sure that Mira and Save are never really in position to go on Ame again. Good harassment here from the Chen.
I think this lane in particular, I've seen it a lot throughout this tournament versus the pressure lanes. And it feels like one of the best answers versus pressure lanes because Alki gets the bonus gold, so he's able to bring extra salves to the lane, and then Chen just burns their mana. So you're pretty much just winning the efficiency war every single time I've seen this lane. Like no lane that I've seen, because I saw one in particular, the Visage Bounty lane versus the Chen Alchemist. That was the one where the Visage went like 0 and 11. So they've done, that's definitely one of those that's done it very good. But in terms of CS right now, it is slightly leading the side of BB. Only slight though. Power Rune. XM.
Look at the shard trap on him.
Does he have mana for shield crash? He does with the stick.
Tianming will be here to try and help out.
Divine Favor, that extra armor is quite a lot.
XM.
He's got another swash.
He's going to get out and he's going to get the kill.
Ooh.
Takes down Save on the way out there again. Tianming making sure he's in the right place at the right time, from saving Ame top to swinging over to mid to making sure XM doesn't get caught.
Yeah, that 10 bonus armor, it's a lot onto that damage, even though there's that extra big damage that was coming out from the amp. It's completely counteracting it. 2-0, the moment for the side of XG. Pure is getting to free farm though.
He is.
So that
will only
lane
continue as the Mag, with the levels in power stacking up.
Get some stacks going for him then. I want to see tons of stacks for this Magnus to see what his potential truly is in this type of game.
Now looking like it will be the Echo first.
Okay, so yeah, more old school standard kind of build. But I feel like Blink is also quite good this game if he does just want to go for like the, the Heart Echo Blink. But I don't know if he wants to play that type of route.
In all of his builds,
he just goes more normal.
21 days ago he was doing the Blink, but he's straight away from that.
Really.
The last, 6-7 games, he never bought Blink. He would always favor Shadowblade.
So then it would be
Shadowblade or Harpoon.
Okay, so maybe this one will be an Echo BKB game.
Yep.
Perhaps since he's playing versus the Pango. Ame again, doing some big damage, but he's got that armor from the Chen. Katomi's up here.
Ame's got the Chemical Rage. He's ready to just start running down Save. And now Katomi's in a bit of an awkward position. The Stampede comes out.
XM's
double onto Ame. They're with the concoction over towards Miro. Rolling Thunder coming through. Miro will be able to drag himself down to the low ground.
Miro.
The attacker has turned up. Maybe seeing if he can help with also Pure coming in to try and make a play happen. They'll get the ult down onto XM. They'll shield crash off. See if XM can get out of this. Swashbuckles up, the hammer's in as well as the tornado. They'll get XM. Takes quite a bit, but they get the job done as they bring in the entire team top, BetBoom.
That was a hot RP. Catches him right at the tail end of the Rolling Thunder, so right when he comes out of it, they do have the follow-up. That was good positioning there from Pure. So far, not looking bad with this bizarre type of lineup.
Key attack up back to mid.
Does have to be cautious with his positioning. You know, we're going to reference the last game in particular. At this point, it was similar, where he was having a super good start, just he started to play his hand a bit too far forward. As we said, this time he isn't playing versus as oppressive of supports that will sandwich him, but does have to be cautious. Not to do similar as last time.
Got it.
Ame is going to start working on these camps. Safe, trying to contest as many as possible, but the acid spray's cleaned up the majority. His Radiant's timing is still looking pretty good. 500 separation between him and the Magnus. And his supports are having that much better of a time in comparison to the Warlock and the Tusk right now. That is that gold difference. And Chen has it 6 already. So Tianming, on top of hitting 6, he almost has them. Actually, he almost has Arcane Boot, sorry. So he's going to have that extra bit of amp up too for the heals. But this Divine Favor is very strong this game versus, I mean, quite a bit of the damage that comes out from BetBoom early. Just that extra bonus armor he can throw onto an Alchemist. And just the duo combo of them. It's a lot of heals, a lot of sustain. They're going to start working on some stacks. PYW has been getting those at the ready. Rather than playing for pressure in the lane so much bottom, he did play for stacks. 3 points in the Firefly. Solar Guardian is at the ready. Looks like they want to try to play around mid. Loses mana.
Look at the last off to the side. This spot save underneath the sentry. Solar Guardian coming in. XM goes down. Backup comes in from XXS. PYW and XXS trying to see if they can catch anyone at BetBoom in return.
This is a bit awkward here for XG. There's a catapult hitting the tower. They've got 2 here to defend. There's a golem at the ready. The fight does end up fully kicking off, but XXS, he's far too tanky. He's going to be a difficult one to deal with for a long time, because their damage, it's a bit slow, unless they go down a Vessel route for somebody, which just I don't think anybody's really buying anymore. That Centaur is definitely going to be an issue for a long time in terms of them killing him. And Ame, Radiance is done. Usually we see it at like the 12-minute mark. This time it's a little bit earlier. He gets it at the 11. And something else to interestingly point out, yep, XM went Soul Ring on Pango. He loves Soul Ring. This guy just really loves Soul Ring. And this game could see, I mean, versus EMP, it does have its merits to have that little bit of extra jolt up of mana. So kind of an interesting approach that like I said, I don't see anybody else buying Soul Ring. Ame has Chemical Rage. The tornado's off the mark.
Missed the setup. It's going to give him the chance to get the Chemical Rage off. They drop the Golem onto Ame. Backup's coming in, but the shards will trap him in. He's trying to run Ame, but he will not escape this as Mira takes him down with a final swing of the hammer.
Can Kiyotaka get out?
I mean, they're running for Kiyotaka. The Swashbuckle's not going to quite reach him. XM will get the Rolling Thunder off and follow up Hooston from XXS. Down onto the 2 of them. They're looking at Miro first. They should find the Dawn. They're continuing with these Rolling Thunder bounces. XM has a hell of a lot of control onto the 2 of them. It's good forward from Pure. He's got the RP onto both of them.
Full health.
Tianming looking towards XXS. He's trying to stampede away, but the tornado of Kiyotaka's back up as Kiyotaka gets the cleanup. Triple kill for the Invokers. BetBoom take the team fight.
Oh, and this is working. This Magnus took 0. He got hit by, I think, 5 Rolling Thunder bounces. And he's full health.
He's tanky.
He hasn't taken any damage. This is actually working with this bizarre draft from the side of BB.
Look at this.
Look at all the buffs that were... Oh, we actually don't get to see the Alk. Alk had every buff thrown at him, too. He had Divine Favor. He had the Ice Ogre armor. Look at these bounces. I'm just watching Pure. Look at his health.
Yeah, the heal's coming in big with that Shadow Word. Katomi keeping Pure topped up throughout the fight.
That was wild. And Kiyotaka, during the entirety of the fight, is just auto-attacking. And if it's that long of a fight, XXS, then they can actually bring him down, even though he is so tanky.
Yeah,
that was... I mean, they're laughing. They're like, this is working.
It's working.
Oh, what an interesting approach.
Oh, let's see. With that sort of fight secured as well, Pure might feel tempted to indeed just buy the Blink after this Echo, rather than go for the BKB or the Harpoon.
Yeah, we'll see which.
Because he's got that big influx of gold.
It's just because the reason I said the blink also was because he has Wombo combo. If he didn't have some type of Wombo combo, look with the Warlock, then I could see him just build for himself. But he still could just build for himself at the end of the day, but we shall see.
Let's have a look.
Miro, this time around...
It wants to get the S and Y. So he will just deep build to just tank up and be the carry.
And Miro also, he's building for himself. This is the first time I've seen him do it as well, too. He did the other days when he was doing the Corrosion just because he was playing versus like the sustain lane. This time, he didn't even go Corrosion versus sustain lane, and he's literally just solely building for himself, so... Very cool from the side of BetBoom, the way that they've adapted and just, honestly, just changed things up. I don't think we've seen a draft anywhere like this throughout this tournament.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Blink now done. PYW does have that at the ready, so they have an initiation tool since we do see that XXS has gone more of just a tanky route with Vanguard Blade Mail. And I think XM, is that the full Diffusal Blade done for him?
He's got it on the Panga.
Okay. So a good amount stronger. It just has to be careful of how he enters the fight, because there is always the ways to play around with the Cold Snap in particular to stop him. Are they going to look for a smoke? Do they actually even have one? Tianming does. Pass it over to PYW. He's got the Blink Lasso, and they're going to look for a play. Warlock Golem is back up. As for that RP, he switched to BKB, by the way, so not SNY either.
Oh, okay.
So that usually just entails that he wants to just fight into the, into the Rolling Thunder early on with his team. Hey, and we heard it also the other day. BKB's a farming item, right? That was what Nightfall was saying too. Set up bottom, Kiyotaka. They go for the burn. They've got the Solar Guardian.
The backup.
There's no Chemical Rage. He is in trouble.
He's got the Stampede.
Can he reset out?
I mean, he's getting Arme out to the side. He may just survive through this. They'll drop down the Golem. They'll turn their efforts over towards Kiyotaka and return. Xtreme, they'll be the ones to get the kill first. They get Arme out of there, and BetBoom not able to find anything as they lose their Invoker. This time Xtreme, they're ready to respond to that.
And now Ame, he's got the Chemical Rage to go back in for the go. That was a Solar Guardian used very aggressively to attempt for the move. 2 ultis committed, and they don't get anything out of it.
And they weren't quite ready to get Pure involved in the action. He's just that 100 or so gold off from having the BKB that he wants.
Katomi, they're not going to actually push forward for him. Fearing the rotation from Pure. We'll be able to finish off that tower. And that looked really scary for Ame. Maybe if a couple of these attacks didn't miss from the evasion, he wasn't end up going down, but...
Oh, PYW walks into a tusk. Save was waiting for him on the high ground.
And Kiyotaka overall this game, he went for more, kind of the standard that we've seen from most of the Invokers. He's just going for the stats. He is just playing for right-click this time around. He'll find Tianming.
They're going to turn to Pure.
Pure on the left side.
Pure's got the BKB. RP only going to catch on to the one of them. So at the same time, Kiyotaka working towards Arme. They kill off.
Doing a lot of damage.
He's got the control. Snowball comes in. They'll be able to find both for the cause.
Kiyotaka really dishing it out to him. He was nearly soloing it.
Tianming are trying to fight back.
Miro's here.
And the hammer comes in as well with the Starbreaker. They're both in a lot of trouble for this. PYW's also jumped in an effort to make something happen, but
he's dead. They're just chain dying.
That was just a bit of a chain feed there, Fog. They did not need to go back in like that.
I think they're underestimating this, as we kind of were too, with how well BetBoom is playing with it. They think that they can fight into this, but they're actually deceptively tanky, and they deceptively do a ton of damage. Kiyotaka hitting for like 200 per hit, bringing down the Alchemist almost by himself, and Pure doing a ton of damage, but also having almost 3,000 HP on a Magnus.
Yeah, we'll see this again. Pure, not the flashiest of RPs, but it gets the job done. They lock down the Centaur,
and the right
do with XXS. And
look at Ame's health.
And at this point, the fight, it's over. But Xtreme, they get tempted to go back in on this. XM going for the combo, sure they're low, but at that point, he's got no way to get out, and Miro quick to punish. And then PYW's just like, yeah, I'll join along for the ride.
And maybe that's why BetBoom also wanted to go for this type of draft of like their heroes that they like to play in their comfort. They're just playing way better than they did in this last game. Last game, they on their Tusk, like Katomi, he was just nowhere. This time, Save playing the Tusk, he's got Phase and Blink Dagger already at this point. So everybody does feel like they are just in a much more comfortable spot with the way that they're playing. And Kiyotaka with his build,
they can make these solo plays easy now. He's got the lead.
It feels just way nicer that he's got this type of build rather than going for the Orchid. It just fits his style of just playing for the right clicker way better. He's level 13. This time around, 6-1 and 4.
Dire's
saving
top tower
Kiyotaka. If
is
anybody
under
goes
attack.
up here, they are very likely dead between the two of these. The tag team plus the Alacrity with this Invoker at this moment. Feels like it's too much for any of them to deal with, even with the evasion that comes out from Ame. XXS does have a Crimson Guard, but it's delayed his Blink Dagger at least a good chunk of time. If he even wanted it. He's now queuing it up on the Centaur. But maybe he was not wanting it because they just have so much counter initiation if he does look to go. So a 4K lead now for BetBoom. Ulti's back at the ready. And that's BKBs too. So Pure and Miro both have theirs ready. Kiyotaka, he's gone a more greedy route, but works out for him with the way that he's been able to play so far this game. He's gonna go to Manta, and they're looking to fight. They get the scan connection.
BetBoom's ready for this. Kiyotaka scouting it out.
Sees them all.
UYW, he tries to lead in, they find him first. Yep, he's ready to try and see if he can catch anyone else. The Tornado clips onto Tian Ming.
He is in.
They've just got to run Xtreme. There's no fight to be had here.
They're not wasting a Stampede to try to save this Chen. They just let him go down. It's working, Owen.
It's looking good. And that's what you like to see. Hopefully this kind of inspires more teams to
pick whatever.
Do something a little bit outside of the box.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of drafts just being very kind of, you know, not copy-pasty, but very similar. This is the first time we've seen just a full deviation. And it's absolutely working so far. 14-5, Pure. He is quite massive now at this point. He's matching the farm of an Alchemist. So maybe that's the concept of it too. Wanting to play versus the Alch.
Very, very well on the Magnus, absolutely.
And he's gone for stat build. Whoa! Punched during the squash. Looked like a kick, but it actually just a punch. And XM gets found again. They're kind of crushing this game now at this point, Owen.
They really are. They're
taking the
Tormentor
styling
on them.
Literal styling.
With this sort of draft, it's flashy.
At bottom, now they're even threatening XXS. They have a lot of damage.
He might have to stampede. Yeah, he's got to.
And their heroes, they're just not squishy at this point too. I'm watching XXM. Or XXM, Jesus. XM, he's playing this Pango who has 1300 HP. Every time he shows in the side lane, a 3000 HP Magnus or a 2400 HP Dawnbreaker goes on him. And they're going to go for a Rosh now too. Empower on the Dawnbreaker as well, so they're going to be able to keep them some sustained while they do this as 3. And Kiyotaka is still actually playing it aggressively, looking for potential solo plays. How do you break this on the side of XG? It's going to have to come through initiations that come from PYW, but we've seen now, what, 3 times where the bat tries to jump in and just dies in an instant. That's the SNY done. 370 damage on this Magnus. I'm trying to do the math of how much damage he's actually going to have total. With the tag team as well too. Let's say it all comes together perfectly. Like if he's standing next to heroes with tag team,
yeah,
he gets Alacrity'd, the heroes are fatal bonded. Everyone's just gonna die in an instant if they do get the connection. This time nobody will die to the Tormentor. And Miro actually gets it. That's a really nice one to be able to get for free.
They've got a new smoke on save. They could look to try and go for the aggressive move around their Aegis.
XG's just, they're not able to do anything, it feels like. It's been a very slow game for them. Yeah, it's been BetBoom doing pretty much anything they want around the map, and with the Solar Guardian, with the Warlock Golem too, it feels like if XG does make a move too, they're just gonna get counter-initiated on too.
Only Ame is really able to farm.
Yeah.
Everybody else is falling far behind on XG.
Okay. I mean, XXS, he has the Blink Dagger, but who do they want to... You know, there's not really a thing that he wants to pair up with it, with this Blink. He has to go for a team fight with it. He doesn't have like a, you know, like a kill combo, as we tend to see sometimes with it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
BetBoom. Found Tian Ming.
They'll grab Tian Ming.
Easy pick. 2 shots. When was the last time XG actually got something?
It's been a while.
I feel like it's been like 10 plus minutes since they got a kill. Okay, they got Kiyotaka the bottom time, but that was pretty much it. Before that, it was at like the 11-minute mark when they killed Miro. They're gonna smoke now to look for something.
It's hard to find something though.
As long as they find people separated, because they are playing into this Aegis. Fighting into the Aegis feels complicated. And BetBoom, they're not giving them opportunities. They're all playing together.
Yeah, BetBoom seem pretty prepared for this.
I didn't see if the ward actually caught them because they have a base ward.
We're just seeing the concoction going off on the illusions that Arme threw.
I didn't quite get to see if I caught it. But with the way that they're standing, they seem to have known exactly where the position's coming from. Still 2.5 minutes left on this Aegis. Pure, he has the harpoon now, so he can start even reaching. He can start perhaps even getting a little bit of initiation himself if somebody shows.
You get the easy drag back.
XXS.
He's going to get it. Ooh,
Nice blink.
Not quite onto XXS, yeah, with the blink.
This Magnus is terrifying now. Level 18 already at this point.
Is under attack.
Ame is getting stronger. He just doesn't really have too much armor. He's going to have the Chen to be able to buff him up with the Divine Favor in the fights, but...
Kiyotaka. He's going to go aggressive and look for the play against the three of them. He's got the backup of Miro.
Manta.
Tornado out onto the both of them. The Rolling Thunder and the Stampede. It's there. They get the jump in with a Who Stomp on towards Kiyotaka. And last to follow up. They're trying to kill off the Invoker. Can they quite get him? No.
He's still alive.
It's going to get dropped down here by Katomi. Kiyotaka's able to walk out of this. XM's trying to finish it, but Kiyotaka survives.
RP on 3.
Pure's in with the RP on 3 as they don't lose anyone on BetBoom. Kiyotaka
They're styling.
Being able to sort of just walk up and starting to set up a play 1 versus 3 and then walking away from it all. That's when you know Xtreme, they're pretty far behind, folk.
They are. The Manta usage is perfect. He tricked them completely. They're like, oh, which is the real one for a second there? And he gets to get the disengage. Yeah, they're playing. It looks like they're just playing with absolute comfort and they're executing beautifully. A perfect RP. That was their hit that they tried to catch him off guard, to catch him separate from the team. But yeah, BetBoom starting now even throw the taunts. They're feeling very confident.
Oh, they are.
And now Pure does have a Blink Dagger coming out
so
on top.
you step anywhere near this Magnus, Pure will be able to just rip you out of the base, drag you over towards the rest of BetBoom.
I'm really glad we get to see just a very different style draft, and the way that they're executing, it's beautiful.
And
and
there
Pure
we go.
gets
Easy
another
grabs
one.
now. Woo. You can't step up. Pure, he'll find you.
The Rex is dead. And Kiyotaka's even just hunting Ame
He's kinda
all
just
during the
soloing
meantime.
Ame.
Okay, that's a bit aggressive,
okay.
Kiyotaka.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Kiyotaka.
No. This is. We've seen a few games that have looked pretty in the bag get thrown away by moves like this, Mr. Kiyotaka.
And he's not the main carry though, right?
Sure.
Lee? But
yeah. Calm down a bit.
I can't believe he aggressively forced it.
Calm down.
That was so crazy. But they're feeling comfortable. I look at the itemization
yeah,
that they've
Tuska's
got.
he's got a Desto queued up.
He's got
Blink.
Blink. He's got Blink Yules.
But what's Katomi got? Oh, he's not got anything crazy. He's been sensible on the wall. Holy Locky next. It's a shard. Because, well, obviously, BetBoom, they feel this game is probably going to be over pretty soon.
He's like, what am I doing? Oh, that was pretty funny. It happens, especially to Kiyotaka at times. But they're still in a fine position. 15k lead, good control of the map. Good wards too, that have not been taken out. And a full AC even from you. He is also continuing to be incredibly
time.
armed.
Just dreaming at the 5-man RP rampage. As us Magnus cores usually do. The attacker, he's got the set. Once again, he's going to be perfectly fine.
XM's here.
Backup, but the Rolling Thunder is out. They get the lasso and the concoction. It's quite a lot of control here, but not enough. Miro's able to survive. Get the BKB off.
Ame.
He's looking for an RP target. He'll use it on Ame. Just locks down the Alchemist and immediately destroys him with the crits. They get the Golem drop down at a PYW. They're zoning the bat out of the fight. And they can probably just keep BT into XXS with this Fatal Punch. It's probably going to kill PYW to the side, and indeed it does.
Goodness, great. I like Empowered Dawnbreaker too. My God, that Alchemist was there and then he wasn't.
Time to go high ground now. They got the Golem out.
They might just be able to, well, honestly, at least like take out that second Rax or even start hitting tier 4s.
Tianming's lucky that I think Kiyotaka was trying to spend a bit of time hunting down the Chen, but Tianming will get away.
That's every ultimate used from the side of XG, and they only are able to find a Tusk.
Tianming, not that there would be much to do if he was back at the base, but he can't get back to the base.
He sure can't.
TP on cooldown, but at the least he can steal a wisdom.
Exactly, that's
there
the bigger plan, bigger gameplay. You know, maybe lose the game, but steal the wisdom.
That's true. You'll get one more wisdom on the way out.
I think they can maybe even hit tier 4s here. I guess they'll just be more sensible. They'll go for
That's
tier
true.
2s.
Yeah, there's still a tier 2 on the
Sure,
bottom lane.
why not?
They can go get their wisdom rune. Pure, he'll take that.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Get the money for the Daedalus.
Timing. Can he get out? He can't. Kiyotaka was looking to set up for him. Won't be able to. These items just keep flurrying in. Miro also. What's he got coming out? Just he's just kidding.
No, I think we're going to be getting to this again.
The Magnus? I think the Magnus in particular.
Magnus will come back again. Honestly,
especially
the
because
Warlock was, you know, it's not done anything bad.
No.
The Fatal
heal
Bonds
was
have been great. The heals have been very clutch.
Because they had like pretty, it's just the bottom lane that looked bizarre, right, on paper, but with the way that it's looked actually in the game, it's looked very strong, and the other two lanes were amazing. And Kiyotaka might get found again.
No.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's okay this time.
They're that far ahead. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Kiyotaka gets caught. He's already done his job this game.
Chanming, don't show.
Yeah.
He showed.
That's a dead Chen.
Dead. Instantly. There's no glyph. They attack fast. Does he have the upbeat? Does he have the talent as well now? I think he does. Level 15's been hit. The attack speed.
They're going to try and get the jump.
Okay, Pure.
Pure. See Kiyotaka actually come in with the aggressive buyback. He'll get a stun strike down onto XXS, but it won't kill him. XXS gets the stampede off. He'll get away. XM uses the rest of Rolling Thunder to create a bit of distance and keep him alive. So
BKB on cooldown. Pure is going to look to reset, at least get some heals, but they're going right back in for the
they
rack.
want to close it up. I mean, Kiyotaka used the buyback. XXS in with the jump. Arme is going to move forward, but the Solar Guardian's coming in. Arme's trying to get away, but he's caught by the stuns. He's out of the game for good. No buyback on him. There's BetBoom. They're ready to close this one up. Bullying Xtreme back to the fountain. The bottom set of racks will be taken. Pure. He's ready to drag them out of it. He's ready to go for some crazy blink skewer play.
Why not? They have megas. He'll go for the RP instead.
Onto the two, and then instant trip that crit at the end there. They didn't stand a chance.
GG.
Well, there we go. They indeed, those smiles, that laughter we had from BetBoom in the draft, it continued throughout the game right up until the end of it. You can only imagine that BetBoom, they loved that game.